Yo. It's Grapsody with Will, Phil, and Reg, trying to keep it real instead of what you usually get from these talking heads. It's Grapsody, we're here to fill the void. 3 black fans, different perspective, got to fill your voice. Coming with the podcast, talking majors, indies in between. Yeah, it's all that, and we're down with Fightful, better fall back. Coming for respect, we connect like a ball bat. No need to double check, these are all facts. You're listening to us talk raps. You're listening to us talk raps. Will, Phil, and Reg. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps.
Man, I wish you guys could see the intro that I get to see, which is Reg singing along with the theme right as it starts. Yeah, and I do too, because it's one of my favorite parts of my Saturday.
All right, Will Washington, stop the fucking podcast. Bryan Danielson and Lee Moriarty are wrestling on fucking Wednesday. I don't care about anything. I don't care about what topics we have. I don't care about what I did last night. I don't care about what shows y'all watched last night. I don't care about what anybody in the comments has to say. Bryan Danielson and Lee Moriarty are wrestling each other on Dynamite.
On network television.
I don't think people really understand the magnitude of this. Lee Moriarty's brand new to AEW Dynamite. It's, there's a lot of hype behind him, but this man is inspired by this man, Bryan Danielson.
He's a technical marvel, and it is all based on Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, this guy is the catalyst for a lot of what goes on now. And for him to be wrestling Bryan Danielson on Dynamite, it's like you couldn't write a better story for this, for Lee to be having this incredible match with Bryan Danielson, who has been on fire, hasn't had a bad match in like 500 years. I don't even know the last time he had a bad match. Even when he was walking through the matches in WWE, still were incredible. So this match is going to be great. I haven't even thought about anything else in the world in the last since I found out about this match, since you guys were tweeting while I was at the show, ruining the show. I forgot about the show that I was at. I had to leave the show to take a moment and just like be like, yo, what? Me looking at my phone like, what? What? It just like,
Nah, honestly, like, first off, I thought the confrontation on Rampage was amazing. Like, that whole segment of, Bryan talking about, I know what you're thinking, that Moxley teamed up with Punk, but that's a one-time thing. But I'm talking about, what did he say? He said it's a one-night stand. I'm talking about a long-term relationship, and he's like, he can have that, but I'm talking something on the long term. And then Matt Sydal walks in, and they're talking about Lee. But then the way Lee stepped up and was like, look, y'all are talking about me like I'm not here. And then he stepped up and he was like, you want to see violence? I'll show you violence. And Bryan's like, that's what I wanted to see. Like, honestly, I thought, that was like proud dad moment. I was so happy to see that. But hey, let me welcome people to Grapsody. Righteous Reg, who's also here.
Got a little excited.
Yeah. Righteous Reg is here. Philip Lindsey's here.
We are here. We are in the building.
Yes, officially I am here. Righteous Reg, your favorite rapper, your favorite writer, your favorite podcaster in the game. It's been a crazy week. It's been a crazy month. It's been a crazy year already. I don't know. Things are happening so quickly, so fast. There's so much coming that we haven't even told y'all about. It's kind of crazy. So shout out to y'all for being here on Saturday morning.
Yeah, and I'm Will Washington. This is Saturday. It is February 12th, 2022. Sorry.
Damn, you went all the way back.
I'm 10 years off. Yeah, 2022. My bad. It was the 12th. That threw me off. 2022. And yeah, I decided to zoom out my camera, by the way, so you have like a whole different perspective on my basement where I do this show. Yeah, also, I got my Fightful Graps hoodie.
That's fire. Yes. That's fire. Super fire.
Man. So, and you too can go get that.
Yes,
Shop.fightful.com.
Look at that. Look at Phil.
I know,
Lindsey
grab
the beep, beep.
Yep.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I needed a new hoodie, and I was between this one. I also did pick up, that should be here next week, but if you haven't checked out Josiah Williams's, he's got some cool gear out. Support black talent, and definitely pick that up. I did buy his hoodie as well. So it's hoodie season. I got some good hoodies.
Not anymore. It's hot as hell in Oakland. I was sweating. I've been sweating all week, man. I'm mad. I just got that Grapsody hoodie, and I only wore it one time. It's done. I'm putting it away till next winter, whenever that week is for California.
It snowed big time yesterday. So as a matter of fact, first thing this morning was getting out and shoveling, so my wife can leave for her hair appointment in 30 minutes. And so that's a Colorado morning. And it's funny too is my wife, we had to go out yesterday for my daughter's movie premiere, which I tweeted about. And
shout out to your daughter for that. That's a big moment. That's a big deal.
There's stuff I didn't even tweet about because after it was over, they announced that they were going to do. So basically, there were a few short films being premiered at this thing that we went to yesterday, and my daughter was in one of them. She actually, it was a movie called Camp Koba, a short film. It's like 15
Koba.
And she played in the movie a ghost. This was the first film she had acted in, but she played the ghost of a girl who died at that camp and was haunting one of the camp goers who I guess felt responsible for it. That's all important to say because so they passed around these cards at the end, and they were going to do an award ceremony for Best Actor in the entire thing, right? And I could sense people, my daughter making people cry, right? And I'm like, I nudge my wife. I'm like, she's got this. She's got this. And but then as we're watching more of the movies, I'm like, maybe not. Some of these are pretty good. But then as they start passing around the cards, and they're like, okay, we're gonna everybody's gonna vote, and then we'll mingle. Or they'll play some music, everybody dance. It was a big party. And then we'll reconvene and we'll announce the winners. And right as they start passing everything along, this dude behind me taps my shoulder, and he's like, "Which one was your daughter?" And I turned to my wife and I'm like, she's got this. I was like, she got it. And sure enough, they bring the top three on stage, and they announce the two runners up. And as soon as they announce the second runner up, I see my daughter. She just explodes. And then they hand her a mic. And of course, this is the first movie she's ever acted in, the first award she's ever won, right? So she had no idea that they were even going to present awards. So they're like, what do you have to say? She's just like, thanks.
Hey, that's how you keep it real.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, okay, we gotta talk, man. I gotta get
it's never ending.
Going.
It's forever.
I know.
It's been going since 2012, apparently.
Yeah, apparently so. But she, we had to talk afterward about, okay, so going forward, you may win awards as time goes on. You got to thank the people that helped make it happen.
Right.
You got to thank your director. You got to
thank me.
Yeah.
First of all, taking you to these acting lessons.
Yeah. Every Saturday, right after this show, if anybody's ever wondering why I got to go, why it's a hard out when we do, it's because at 12:30 Mountain Time, that's 2:30 Eastern, she has acting lessons every Saturday, and I have to be like, okay.
And look,
we gotta go.
They paid off, baby. They paid off.
Yeah,
award-winning already. And
she's an award winner.
How the Washington family does it. She got to connect with their big uncle, too. He needs to impart some advice, the greatest black guest star in the history of the world. Big uncle has to come impart some words.
They have been talking. They FaceTime and they talk, and he gives her little lessons and things like that.
He's like, this is what I did on Sister. Then I came in like this.
Well, here's the weird part.
All that shit.
I know most actors have big aspirations, things like that. They want to be in Academy Award winning films and all of that. And my daughter's 10. She just wants to be in sitcoms. That is her ultimate goal is she's just I just want to be in a sitcom.
Netflix, let's get it. Come on, man. I'll let your boy Netflix. We need that money.
We need to see her on Disney Channel doing the wand thing.
Yeah, honestly, and she's gonna be mad at me for putting this out there, but she practices that shit in the mirror she wants to do the wand. That is the goal.
I'm about to at Disney right after this podcast. Yo, I got some talent for y'all. Come through Disney Channel, Disney Plus, whatever y'all need. Come on.
Her lifetime goal is to do the wand, make the ears, and then I almost want to put it together for her, just as one of my video projects or something, just to just to say she's done it. But that is the goal.
We need her to pop on at the beginning of one and hit like, "This is Grapsody."
Yes. That's fire. I would like that.
But we want to interact with everybody here. We love, it's my favorite part of the week is getting to sit with these guys and do Grapsody. But another big part of Grapsody is getting to hear from you guys via the super chats, via the Humper Chats. Humperchats.com is the way you send us a Humper Chat. And you can definitely check that out. And I'm actually in the process of pulling up said Humper Chats.
Humper Chats. As always, we appreciate y'all sending super and Humper Chats because y'all are very generous. Y'all are very cool. And y'all help a couple brothers out,
That's true. And we got a Humper Chat from Van Twinblade. Says Keith Lee and his magnificent chest are free. Also, the Uncle Phil...
Well, he's not free anymore.
The Uncle Phil Beal is an amazing shout for a signature move.
The Uncle Phil Bill is tremendous. That's a great name for her. That's so
also
good.
Are either of you guys coming to St. Louis for Black Wrestlers Matter on the 19th? I will not be. I've been asked to travel a lot of places this month, and
it's crazy.
I'm only taking one trip this month because I've got 3 in March, and so it's like
that boy is out there.
And then possibly April because I'm looking at Dallas and I'm finding it hard to say no. So with
peer pressure,
so much
peer pressure.
and it is a wrestling trip that I'm taking in February. So I can't take any more. I was even talking to Mikey Ruckus about our themes. So that was news since the last time we did a show. Was that our themes played on Dark.
I forgot.
Our music played on Dark. And so
I had a moment to say the least.
I called Reg. And
I couldn't believe I was conveniently had left my favorite at the Chinese food spot. I'm like, what's Will Washington calling for? Will's like, did you hear? I'm like, did I hear what? I'm trying to get some Chinese food, man. He's like, they played our song on Dark. I'm like, Will, stop. Don't say this to me right now. Don't play with me. I don't have time for this, man. I'm just trying to enjoy my Saturday, man. Don't do this to me.
Did you do like the scene in That Thing You Do where you just like stood on top of a table and like you started playing it from your phone? Like, that's my song.
No, I just ran outside and spun in a circle like I made it.
Yeah.
So I got home and I found the clip, and I'm gonna just be honest with everybody. I had a nice, good, joyous cry. It happened, and it didn't stop happening for a while. And I was just like, yo, I worked a lot. As I explained on this podcast, worked very hard to get to this moment. For this moment, I worked 30 years for this moment, being a wrestling fan, writing about wrestling, podcasting about wrestling, being at wrestling shows, being backstage wrestling, talking to wrestlers. All the things that I've done have brought me to this moment. So all these emotions came, a wave of emotions, and it was amazing. Hobbs called me on the day that it aired. I think it's Tuesday. He called me on Tuesday and wanted to say that he was mad at everybody for spoiling it. So whoever spoiled it for me, he said he wanted me to see it live. He's going to find you and he's going to spine buster you. So sucks for you, man. I'm sorry. No, good, crazy, great moment. I want to also say on the podcast, thank you to Will Washington for this moment. Also, he played a really big part in bringing me onto this project. This podcast is a big catalyst for that too. He played a big part in this. He produced the song. Like all these things came together at the right moment.
Up.
Yeah, man. Like it's a lot. I really appreciate everything that you did too, man, because you helped achieve my dreams. Shout out to Mikey Ruckus, who also played a huge part in making this whole thing happen. Like it's been so much to get here, and we made it happen, and they put our song on a show, and that's really all that I wanted in this world. So that was amazing to see. Thank you to Will Hobbs, Powerhouse Hobbs, my brother. Oh my God. He was like, he's just so nonchalant about everything. He's like, yeah, that's how we do it. We're supposed to have each other's back. I'm like, give me a little bit more, but that is Powerhouse Hobbs. That's how I get. That was like, we're doing it. That gave me everything. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to Phil Lindsey also, because he's a big part of the reason that I'm here in this space. we're all here in this space. I want to say thank you to everybody, to all the fans, because this has been a great moment, man. Like this has been a crazy week. All this has been insane, and I just want to show my appreciation to y'all. Thank you.
Listen, hey, if your daughter wants advice on how to do an acceptance speech, that's how you do an acceptance speech.
That's it. Yeah.
But no, man, I'm incredibly proud of you guys. And man, when sometimes you guys see me tweeting stuff when album unannounced stuff comes out, and I look a little annoyed, it's because I'm proud of these dudes, and I don't like how people are like shitting on something that I've seen these guys be excited about from day one. And I didn't have anything to do with this album, but am kind of interviewing for people for Bleacher Report, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And it was very hard for me to not, also gush over my guys, because I was like, because one of the people that I'm asking questions is Red Velvet, and I'm like, man, my man's produced this record. Like, and so, man,
and you had to hear the record like 100 times after I finished it.
Right.
Yeah, because we got it because I got it while we were in Atlanta for Terminus.
You got it during the podcast.
Yeah, I got it during the podcast, and then I listened to it like 1,000 times afterwards. So,
nah, man, happy for these guys, man. Really cool to see us link up, and not us as in the three of us, as in us. As in black people link up. And just seeing, man, the big homie Graham get jump on, to see Josiah slide in, to see Mega Ran jump on, Rated R, Rich, all these guys link for this is just really, really
the homies,
cool.
Everybody came through. There's a couple tracks that I heard that I'm like, damn, like that Lee Moriarty track is fun. I'm like, yo,
this is dope, man.
Can I get on the remix or something? Because, bro, that shit's fire. Yeah, there's a bunch of songs that like that, bunch of stuff like that.
That Lee segment they showed during Dark was fantastic. I loved it.
So good, so good.
I'm gonna say though, I didn't get to use everything I wanted to use because I had that other beat that you heard, and Reg was even like, oh man, I want to. He's like, this one's more my style. And all I got from Mikey on that one was, there'll be more. Yeah, because I didn't get to use everything I wanted to use. And there was one.
There's a million wrestlers always coming in. There's always things.
And he was like, hey, he's like, there's going to be room. There's going to be room for this one. Don't worry. So, because that's probably the beat I'm happiest with. Like, I went ahead because I sent you the clip of like halfway through it, and I'm like, let me just finish this up. And honestly, I was like, this is one of my favorites now. But I didn't get to get this one on the album. But
I don't know if you guys know this, and guys as our listeners, but sometimes I look at other podcasters' stuff outside of their podcast, and I'm like, yo, this guy's dope. And that's kind of how the Graham thing came about. Because I was like, no, Graham's dope. And like my man at the Almanac show, Julio, man makes dope music. It's a lot of guys out here that makes good music, man.
Fire.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, shout out to Graham, because had he not posted those raps back in December, I wouldn't have known that he had skills at all. And that was
he was killing it that day. I was like, bro, what's going on?
I know.
Does he check?
And that was what made me think back to when it was like, okay, we need one more person for the Hobbs track. My brain went, Graham. Like,
perfect.
Because honestly, I didn't know when the project came about that Graham had it like that. And so because that was early December, or like late November that it all came about. But then Graham posted those clips in December, and I was like, how did we not know this? It's so
can't be keeping that a secret, Graham. You got to put that out there all the time. All these fools got to know. I'll start the show with a rap. As you see, I start this show with a rap. Come on, man. Like, if you got bars, you have to let them know.
Yeah. Hey, we got some super chats though I want to get to. Shout out to Chris. He said this super chat is for Will's movie star daughter. Would love to hear how the premiere went and what a proud papa moment that was for you. Yeah, I mean the premiere was fun, and yeah, it was a cool. I mean, that was the first like premiere I'd ever been to, and that was I mean, it was a party. It was everybody was getting down. Everybody, my wife, as soon as we get in, she looks around. She's like, I see everybody with wine glasses. I'm gonna figure out where that's coming from. And she did. So
and she did.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, it snowed really bad yesterday, so I was so everybody who made it out there was a really good turnout. I wasn't sure what it was going to.
It was like that Chicago Dynamite again, huh? Like, are people going to make it? I don't know, but now we about to pull up.
Yeah,
MJF and Punk are there. Your daughter's MJF and Punk. They're like, we got to go see MJF and Punk.
Yeah, shout out to my parents because my dad is 79, but he made it out.
They're not about to miss that grandbaby shining moment.
I know. Like everybody made, like all the family made it out for this one, but then obviously there were multiple actors in that movie. And so it was just like a big scene. Everybody was dressed nice. It was cool. There wasn't as much food as I would have hoped because it was one of those all day. I'm like, what's for dinner? What's for dinner?
Right.
I'm like, we're going to this movie premiere. There'll be food. And there was it was like little finger food. So we got pizza afterward.
Right. I mean, you have to celebrate that W too. So
yeah,
it's pizza time.
And for the first time, so back to pizza conversation. Sorry, Phil. But we ended up getting
I'm out of here.
Like we ended up getting Domino's, right? You know how Domino's has the.
See, he's talking crazy again. Look, Phil's offended again already.
Look, man. Hey, when it is 10 o'clock at night and y'all just want to eat something, Domino's hits the spot. And Domino's has a little car side pickup, and they have it like, if we don't get your pizza to you in 2 minutes after you pull up, you get a free pizza. And they always beat the timer. Not this time. They actually missed it, and I had to get my free pizza. So that was cool.
Wow, look at that.
They actually missed the timer.
It was the Washington's night last night. Y'all was just cleaning
I'm not gonna lie. I was mad because it was because they said
bring my pizza.
Well, because the whole thing says within 2 minutes from when you pull up, right? I'm trying to pull up the thing, right? And they did not get it to me for 10. So it wasn't like I pulled up and they were 10 seconds late or whatever. It was all right, where the hell is the pizza? Now it's bad. So they did send me my free pizza. And we're good. So it was a good night. Good Friday night. Dante says Grapsody continues to influence the world. Thank you.
Speak on it, Dante.
Hey, before I forget, by the way, shout out to Brian F on that collage. That was awesome. Just seeing us linked with so many of our peers. Man, I didn't expect to see that. That was really cool.
I don't know what y'all talking about. I thought y'all talking about a wrestler.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
I haven't.
If you go to, I think I shared it through our account. If you go, there's a big collage with of us and a bunch of other content creators, referees, other outside wrestling influences. That was dope.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Where's me? What picture did they use of me? Do I look fly? Damn, we are dope. Look at all these dope ass black people. Oh, that's me. Yeah, okay, I like it.
Look at this guy. This guy, man, gets a little bit of fame, man. He's even up on us.
Man, I mean, if you need my headshot, my email is.
Yeah, no, I was really happy to see that.
Shout out to Brian F. That's super dope. To us, really cool. we keep saying this. We just started this podcast in October, man. This is still very new, and we're just doing it. So shout out to Brian F. That's dope.
Jester Design says this week was Black Excellence. All the best matches had us.
I'm telling you. You speaking on it.
Yeah. Derek says so. We really getting Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon on Dynamite for free.
I feel like I'm in WWE mode. They're gonna swerve us. They're gonna come out and be Brian Daniels is gonna come out and then they're gonna go to the back and Lee's gonna be knocked out back there. Some dumb thing's gonna happen. I know that Tony Khan hasn't done that yet. They haven't had a moment like that yet in AEW where it's a fake out. So I know it's gonna happen. It's gonna be amazing. I'm trying to lower my expectations because I'm gonna have an anxiety attack before Wednesday because what, man?
Honestly, I had to look up the tweet because I'm pretty sure I tweeted back in October, right after Lee signed. I said, look, all I want for my birthday is Bryan Danielson versus Lee Moriarty. And granted, that was October, and we're 4 months removed from that, but we got it. So happy belated birthday!
It still happened. It still happened. It still happened extremely quick too. They could have. There'll be more Like this will be one that they'll look back on the highlight and be like, remember the first time they went at it? Now they went at it 500 times for the AEW championship. And Reggie is, no one know what happened to Reggie because excitement like shot him over the moon somewhere. He's gone forever. We haven't seen him in years from these matches. So
he just got launched into space like Isaiah Cassidy.
He got Uncle Phil build out of the world.
So Kimberly says, just wanted to say that I'm proud of you guys. It is awesome to see you all making a mark in the wrestling world.
Thank you.
I honestly, when we started the show, I just wanted to talk with my guys. I had no idea.
That's pretty much it.
This was that it was.
I want to talk shit on a wrestling podcast. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Ryan says the song was awesome. Hope he uses it more. Drew says all three of you are genuinely wonderful people who deserve your success. Congratulations on this and your future success because it's not done here. Thank you.
We got some stuff coming. I'm telling you.
Ralph says hella proud of the three of y'all and what y'all do. Always great to see my black brother succeed. Mad love to y'all from Birmingham, Alabama. Thank you.
Ooh, yeah. Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that.
Deontay says happy Valentine's Day to the fam. I'm amazingly proud of y'all for the album and podcast. Keith Lee is happy and free, and Jay White, much love, y'all.
You guys, did you not see after that Keith Lee match that they said Keith Lee is all elite? That's not free anymore. He is signed. He has his name on a dotted line.
What are y'all doing for the old Valentine's Day? Like, I mean, I saw Reg tweeting about that he got. You got the laundry hookup at the moment, so at least
that's just what I'm saying. That's just like I'm just taking my clothes over here. I have some friends, and they all have their friends that they're gonna do their thing with. I'm gonna be over here as a single person, enjoying nothing. I'm gonna have 2 days that I went to the grocery store, and it's Super Bowl and Valentine's Day mania, and I'm like, both of these things have zero interest to me. Get all these red balloons and bullshit out of here. Get all this NFL bullshit out of my way. I'm just trying to get some red vines really quickly. So this weekend is nothing for me. I don't care about football, and I don't care about Valentine's Day.
I'm going to see. So my wife and I, we have a date tonight. We're going to go see Chris Red.
That's a sir.
Yeah, he's
not that kind of date, Phil.
Yeah, we're dropping
maybe afterwards. I mean, if Chris Red is hitting it, you might.
Yeah, we're dropping the kids off at my parents, and then we're gonna go see Chris Red.
That's what's up. Chris Red is dope.
Yeah, he is, and honestly,
he's not at SNL anymore.
Well, he is. Well, so the Winter Olympics are going right now. So I learned that apparently he does. This is what he does whenever SNL does not have a show. He's doing something. So he books his weekends doing stand up when there's no SNL. So
there's a new show. He's coming out with a new show on Peacock that looks really dope too. So shout out to Chris Red. That's going to be a dope show for y'all.
So going to see Chris Red do stand up tonight. So that'll be fun. And
Phil didn't say what he's doing for Valentine's Day. He tried to dodge that question.
I'm doing a whole bunch of nothing. I'm probably going to watch the Super Bowl. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going. I've got invited places to watch it, but I'm not a big football fan, but I'm watching that Valentine's Day. I don't know.
I kind of want to see the halftime show. Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I'm super interested in.
I mean, shout out to Swerve, who's going to the Super Bowl.
He would.
Well, first off, I mean, so here's the thing. He's a Rams fan. My brother is a huge Rams fan, and so Swerve, though, I don't want to know what he paid for this ticket, but I know he had posted what he was looking at, and I saw him, and I'm like, I don't even want to know. I don't.
That man need a contract after how much money he spent. He gonna start calling the wrestling companies for like, yo, Super Bowl is crazy. Can I come through? That's dope though. I saw that video he posted right after the Rams won, and he didn't know how to act.
Can we just talk about as a man that is old and washed? After most holidays, I get excited for candy being half off, and it's not even a good candy after Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day just sucks, man. Look the holiday out of here, man.
Out of here, man. Come on, they have people spending up their good hard-earned money trying to impress their significant others that they should be impressing every day. Come on,
Easter candy is already out, and I'm a big
Easter candy is
Easter candy smacks. Jelly beans are like.
So I'm like I've been obsessed for like the last like 15 years with Starburst favorite jelly beans. Like those are like when I get. As a matter of fact, it's funny I said that because I finished the pack already.
Those are fire. Those are fire.
Not even April yet.
No, not even April yet. I saw them.
There's a fruit punch and a watermelon flavor in there. I think it's because you're black. You can't help it.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny is I've been enjoying these for years. Right, they are my go-to. Like I remember WrestleMania weekend, I stopped at Target on the way to the airport, and I was like, you know what? I just like stuffed my bag full of them, and so I grabbed like 5 bags that I had just like WrestleMania weekend.
5 bags.
Yeah. I was just like carrying them around, just like anytime somebody saw me at WrestleMania weekend, I was like eating Starburst jelly.
This is that is the theme of our podcast: is eating beans at wrestling shows. what is going on?
Yeah, it's not just me. It's not just me. Thank God, finally another bean eater. Will's been hiding in the shadows this whole time, and he's been bringing beans to the show too.
No, but what I was going to complain about is something changed this year. I don't know what it is, but something tastes slightly off about them in 2022, and it's like they like changed the formula of just like one of them, right? Because it's good because it's like multiple flavors in here, but they changed something.
Like, this formula not hidden. There's only one guy buying 5 bags at a time. Nobody else is buying these. We got to switch up this.
Yeah.
Oh God.
They changed something though, and I reached out to my boy Colin Harris because he's a big Starburst. Like it's like the thing we talk about. Like he sent me the picture. He's like, "Hey, they're out. Like it is our thing, right?"
They got the launch day.
Yeah, we got the launch day for jelly beans, bro.
He Starburst jelly beans.
He sent me the picture. The moment he saw him on the shelf, he's like, "Hey, the Fave Reds are out." And I messaged him. I'm like, "Hey, does something taste off this year?" And he's like, "Yeah, something's off."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "All right, I know it's not just me. Okay, good."
Oh, God.
I wasn't sure if I got it like a tainted bag or something, but Starburst, like, fix it, go back. These ain't right.
We need another batch.
Come on,
we
man.
need another batch. Something's off with these. I don't like it.
We need to get our Rock Nation rep to holler at those people at Starburst.
All right, couple more. We got Oscar says, what do you think of Keith Lee's entrance theme? Ruckus is really talented. I like it.
It fits Keith Lee. It fits him.
Yeah. Now, I know the major complaint is that, you know, Keith Lee has traditionally sung his theme songs going back to the Indies, and for the first time we don't have his voice on a theme song. And I like Mikey's response of, man, I didn't find out about any of this till this weekend, and I wasn't going to make this man leave his wedding to go record a verse for me.
Right. Hey, no, shout out to Ruckus too for also, he does that very often. Tony Khan will be like, you have an hour to put this theme out. Can I have it? And Mikey Ruckus comes through every single time and does it. Yeah. And that's hard, dude. Like,
you know what,
though? You're going to be instantly judged, and he's just like, here you go.
The thing I like about it, by the way, is how he said Tony goes about telling him, where he'll do like the 3-way call and be like, hey, so I got my friend on the phone. I want to introduce you to Keith Lee. And then, like, it's like,
bro, come on. That is like, pressure on pressure.
Right.
Man.
And it's like, okay, let's do this theme song. I love that, though. That, like, just
that's a
hearing
job,
that,
man. That's a hell of a job. Hell of a job.
Well, especially because, like, you got to be like the ultimate secret keeper at that point, right? Because, like obviously he has the most heads up on anybody who's coming into the company because he's got to have the theme ready. He's got to have all of that prepared. And it's
he keeps these secrets.
Yeah, you gotta keep the secrets.
There's sometimes like 5 people that know that a wrestler's coming in, and he's one of those 5. So it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, because he talked about the Brody Lee thing, right? Where like he was just told making a leader of the Dark Order theme, and then he didn't know who it was until he had to add the "Wake Up Your Mind" line to it from Brody Lee. But he was like, "You just making the theme for the leader of the Dark Order. Don't worry about who it is. Just make the theme." And then when they added the voices, that's when it was like, "Hey, this is Brody Lee's voice." So that's cool. Let's see. We got Nathan says Tony definitely watches Grapsody. I know he has. I don't know if he is.
Does he?
I haven't been watching. But Raphael says stopping through to show some support. Keep doing what y'all do.
Appreciate that, Raphael.
Appreciate you.
Fletcher says I'm really starting to think Swerve is going to be the Joker in the Revolution ladder match.
Maybe.
He could be showing up anywhere. I mean,
wait to see what my man is doing.
His non-compete is up this week, so a lot of things can happen.
He did put that tweet out. I saw that last night.
Somebody's gonna be very busy very soon. Very exciting.
Yeah. Don't know anything about that.
Me neither.
Mike,
I haven't tried to put out any fillers at a wrestling company that I like and say that they should book this person. Nope, never. Haven't done that myself. Nope. I didn't tell the promoter of West Coast Pro Wrestling to call Shane Swerve. I didn't do that. No, not me.
Mike says, give AQA the Ricky Starks treatment. It was immediately apparent she's going to be a special talent for years to come. Insane WWE let her get away. I'll talk about that in a second because that's one of our topics. We had Orion says, hashtag Grapsody called it. I died laughing at Isaiah's scream as Keith murked him, just like you guys predicted. Enjoy, gents. I mean, like, honestly, you know, the way Tony had said that, like, he had this vision for Keith, like, the moment he was released, I could absolutely see as a booker, like, okay, who do I want? Well, it's got to be somebody who, like, can really sell for Keith and who could make the sell funnier than Isaiah with the scream. Oh,
perfect.
This is the one.
Hey, perfect. Yeah. People got to give Isaiah his flowers too, man. Like, for the last week or so, he's been fantastic. He had that great TNT match. Yep. He had this match. Yep. He's doing a great job building this rivalry that's clearly building to the Hardys getting back together. I think he's doing phenomenal right now.
He's doing a great job, man. He's taking a leadership role, and beyond those matches that you talk, he's still wrestling on Dark and Dark Elevation.
Hey,
just
man,
tearing it up all the time. Yeah, I'm telling you, man.
Two watch day.
Killing it.
He says Will was on that Baby D snack.
I'm saying. All the new hostess.
We were just talking about that movie yesterday on Twitter. Because,
that's right.
Because there was the tweet about shout out SP3 asking about sequels. Like, I'm not the biggest Next Friday fan,
bro.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Next Friday fan, but I recognize why it's loved. Because, like, I get it. Next Friday had characters, and that is ultimately the charm of the movie. You know, we brought in Day, we had Baby D.
I've said
we had Pinky.
My very controversial opinion. I think Next Friday is better than Original Friday, and people have very
what a
much
take.
Crazy. I think that Mike Epps is my favorite comedian. So it's like I think that honestly I'm gonna say it, blows Chris Tucker out of the water. I think Chris Tucker shit is like, it's good, like it's cool, it's funny. There's a lot of great moments in the Original Friday. It's a classic, but I think Next Friday is incredible, and I think Friday After Next even takes it. Like,
I'm gonna agree with you on one thing, and then hard disagree with you on another. I actually do agree that I do like Mike Epps better than Chris Tucker.
Okay, thank you.
No, Day is a funnier character than Smokey in every way.
There you go.
But hard disagree on the movie itself being better. I think part of the charm of Friday is the fact that ultimately, like, Next Friday,
a nigga that beat up Hulk Hogan is in it. That's what's great about it. A nigga that beat up Hulk Hogan on
he was in Next Friday too.
Is on.
But Next Friday, I think, is a little more over the top, and Friday After Next is way over the top, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like Friday, to me, and part of it was just growing up at the time and where I grew up, I felt like a real story that was just, it was like over the top, but within a very realistic setting. Like, everybody felt real, you know. I felt like
it wasn't super over the top. Like, I've seen a lot of those situations in the hood, so it's like these type of things happen. As and compared to the other one, I agree with that.
While Friday, like Next Friday, has like over the top characters, but like Pinky's funny, but like Pinky is not like a real person, whereas like when you are
Bernie Mac's character is like
Bernie Mac is a real person, right? Like, there's absolutely you knew pastors like that. Like, there's no goddamn way
that's a real person.
That's a real person.
That and pastor before, and he is just like that.
And Red is a real person, right? Like, but even Ezel, I feel like he's a real person, and I felt. Like, Friday to me feels very real to me, and it's just like a funny situation with real people. Whereas I felt like Next Friday was more like, okay, now we're gonna introduce you to like characters.
Okay, I agree. That's good. That's a great way to look at it.
That's it to me. But I'm That's why like I'm.
It's
a really
Friday
big
though.
Friday
All
fan.
of them are dope. Shout out to Ice Cube because like those are some of the greatest black movies in history.
I've seen Friday a million times.
Too many times.
And I love. But you know what's funny though was the moment I saw the director's cut as a kid. And I remember the first time I saw it, it aired on USA Network actually, and I'm like, what are these scenes that I've like never seen on the VHS, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't release the director's cut on DVD or Blu-ray till just like 10 years ago. But so I remember thinking like, there are scenes that I have that like enhance the story and aren't in the movie. And I was like, I know I've seen these before, and I've seen them on USA Network. So like every time Friday would air on USA Network, I would get excited because I'm like, hey, they got those extra scenes. Because there's the really important one, which is in the opening credits, Ezell stealing the boxes that got Craig fired. Mm-hmm. That's such an important scene.
That's a huge scene. Yeah,
like the fact
that's gone.
Yeah, the fact that that's missing, so you don't understand like what got Craig fired. And that it was Ezell who got Craig fired for stealing boxes.
Next Friday is NXT 2.0. Somebody in the comments, you leave here right now. You're a punishment. Turn around.
Listen.
Go to the corner
Wait a
right
minute,
now.
wait a
You're
minute.
in trouble.
Wait a minute. So I saw a little bit of NXT 2.0 this week, and I don't watch a lot of it. But I've noticed that there are a lot of horny people on this show.
Oh my God, so horny.
There are a lot of horny people on this show. And so it always like, how do I hook up with this person? Like, I was
anytime a woman walks into the screen, all the guys are like, "Oh my God, thirsty, hungry." I'm like, "Yo, what?
Look at her!"
This?
And so I was watching it this week, and I was like, "This is literally that show that was on MTV for a little while, Undressed." That's what it is. NXT 2.0 is Undressed. That's what it is.
Seriously, the acting is just like that too.
It's the same.
This is crazy. Oh my God, they did make a high school version of pro wrestling.
That's exactly what it is. It's like
it's
a bunch of wrestlers that look like they're grown and they're acting like they're in a dorm room. That's what it's like.
Oh my God, because they thought that's the market they're trying to market to. So they think, well, if we have characters that are like them, then they'll want to watch it. No, they don't want to watch it. That shit's trash.
You know what's funny though is NXT 2.0 is really developing a base though. There's a lot of people who have decided the show is for them. But you know what's funny is
good for them, I guess.
No, but you know it is the I get it in the sense that there's wrestling has really been divided a long time where there's the audience that wants pro wrestling and there's an audience that wants that wants kind of the circus of pro wrestling, and I don't mean that insultingly. Like
it's Friday against next Friday again. It's regular against over the top.
But you know that there's people who want that, and so like there is I notice a base that very much is like, I wasn't into black and gold. I don't want I don't like indie style wrestling, but I like. I like Tony D'Angelo. I like characters, and then there are
that
people
tweet from last night was fucking bullshit too. I'm gonna say it out loud. The NXT 2.0 guys, besides Carmelo Hayes, are not better than the pillars of AEW.
Oh, I
don't
did
care
see
however.
that tweet.
I don't care however you're trying to turn it. Carmelo's the only one on.
I was gonna say
because
that's where I was going with this. Is that Carmelo is the one that fits. Kind of either side, because I think Carmelo would have succeeded in NXT.
He could have been one of those pillars on either on AEW or Black and Gold.
Yeah, and I think he would
no matter what.
I think he would have succeeded probably more in Black and Gold.
I agree
because there's nothing about him that to me says
he would have succeeded on Black and Gold because I would have been watching him. I don't watch him.
Right. Like because he had an indie run. Like it's not like this is a guy who came out of nowhere who's factory made.
Christian Casanova, man, he was a highly sought after talent. I remember I interviewed him right before he went into WWE, and he had a lot of offers on the table. But WWE came with the one, and he made the right choice because they like him a lot. So I think he's doing it.
But like I said, I don't feel like there's nothing about him to me that says that he is NXT 2.0, and without NXT 2.0 he wouldn't have succeeded. So like he is to me not a representation of NXT 2.0 success simply because I think he would have made it anywhere. He is I think he would have been solid in Black and Gold, like easy. Whereas I feel like to me Tony D'Angelo is more NXT 2.0 to me.
Right.
I feel like
all the other guys that were in that picture are that. Braun Breaker is an NXT 2.0 guy.
And then also, I mean, even Braun kind of maybe, I don't know. But when I think of who's the other guy Grayson Waller, he's another one that I think,
he's a big guy over there.
Yeah, they had Trick in that picture for some reason, which I didn't understand it.
I think it was just because that was the picture they took, and so it was like we got a picture of these 4 guys. But yeah, so that's the only one. Like I feel like Carmelo pump the brakes. Like I don't think.
But them greater than, those are always dumb.
Honestly,
they're always trash.
If there was a way to mute the greater than picture, I would have done it a long time ago.
Yeah.
They're
I
always
hate
bad.
Yeah,
on the wrestling and the hip hop side, I'm always like, you guys, just stop it.
Because it's easy engagement. Like you know what you're doing when you are tweeting anything with the greater than.
Nelly feels better than the Pimp a Butterfly. No, it's not, dude. Don't say that. That's dumb. That's a dumb tweet. That's a dumb tweet. Don't say that out loud. No one said that. I was
about to say, wait a minute. Where are we right now? What?
I was gonna say though, if you did tweet
that is a wild take. That is a wild take.
Hey, what if Nelly's your favorite rapper, man? I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, Tremaine says Keith's theme gives me P.D. Pablo vibes. Jester says I almost forgot Jade in that reverse power slam needs to be a second finisher.
Hey,
we're gonna get into topics one day here.
Tremaine, I feel like topics at this point are like the second hour of Grapsody.
There you go.
We gotta talk to people.
We'll set it out loud.
Yeah, that was.
So
I was thinking that. Like I was thinking, at this point, we let's get let's talk. Because Miss Parker alone makes Friday the best.
Kind of does.
Ms.
The homegirl on next Friday is pretty fire though. What's her name?
Carla.
Yeah, she. I mean. I don't know. I don't know.
Nia Long is the best.
Oh yeah, Nia Long's in there. Okay, so, she wins. She's number one. She right now she is like. I mean, I don't know what she's drinking or what kind of serum she took. I don't know what kind of Illuminati drug she has, but she looks phenomenal now. Like I'm talking about like 5 stars all the way around. Shout out to Nia Long.
So, I did another podcast by the way this week, and. I heard by people that watched our Jade interview that were like, man, could you guys have come in, like, you guys all had haircuts ready, like, all you guys look crispy, like, all you guys were trying to make sure you look good for this episode, and then she came in, and you guys were like, man, you look good, and I was like, I don't remember saying that, wait a minute, hold on now.
That was me, that was definitely me. I didn't hold nothing back. No, I was fresh, I got my newest shirt on, I got my hair nice, I was ready. Jade Cargill, man, what do you mean? I'm not going to
first off,
like no damn bum.
Yeah, now, granted, yes, I did get a haircut the day before, but
I mean,
that was
I went out of town.
I was traveling. Like,
these are Royal Rumble haircuts. I wasn't going nowhere. I was doing what that guy said, trying to impress Jade Cargill 100%. I didn't get a Royal Rumble haircut. I didn't go anywhere. I was in the own comfort of my home. I woke up, took a shower, got ready for this. What, man? I'm a good professional interviewer. That's all it is. Not because she's a beautiful, beautiful woman. That has nothing to do with it.
Look, man, we had guests, man. You can't, when you have guests come over, it's like, you have to look right.
Go straighten up your house. Like,
that's it. Not because we thirsty. I'm very thirsty. I just want to keep reiterating that. Me, 100%. I agree.
Yeah, and then we got some humper chats, and some of these are going to spark some conversation. So let's get into these. Let's see. Wrestle Voice said, my favorite podcasters and brothers, killing it for the culture. Y'all keep it up and continue to uplift each other. Thank you. That is the goal ultimately, is that I don't want to cut anybody down. Speaking of cutting people down, I got some shit.
Oh.
Okay, here's the thing. This was a bad week for a big section of wrestling.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Wrestling social media. And I noticed a couple of guys that follow us were partaking in this. So I'm going to throw it out there right now. And when I'm talking about a bad week, I'm talking about as far as women in the wrestling space. I'm talking about Lovely. I'm talking about Cher Delaware. I'm talking about Jesse. I'm talking
Alex.
About Smiley, Alex. Pretty much, look, man, the way that certain people are gatekeeping pro wrestling, like, ultimately, this is pro wrestling. And there's, like, really not an excuse for some of the ways I saw them get treated this week. And
nasty.
And like doxing, like shit like that, like
corny.
Yeah, it's corny. The quote tweeting the pictures, like all of that stuff, it's corny, man. Like don't follow us if that's the way you're gonna be.
Honestly, if you're getting down like that, you can turn this podcast off. You can block us, do all the things you want, because we don't get down with people like that. We support people that do anything that you want to do in the world. You can do it. And if you're sending, what did they send the OnlyFans to their mom or something, whatever wild shit you're doing, just stop it. Leave it alone. Get off the internet and leave, because that's stupid, man. These are people's lives. People are getting paid to do this shit. It's like all kinds of things going on. You don't know what's going on for you to just be sitting behind your dumbass keyboard to try to tweet, to try to cut someone down when you really are cutting people down. Sometimes words are a lot, man. These words do mean a lot. It's not just like you're saying something into a void. You're saying something to a real person on the other side of this, and there are consequences to all these actions.
Yeah, man. Like, honestly, this is pro wrestling. We're not gonna agree on everything. And we might disagree a lot. And you know what? Like, I'm okay with the discourse. I'm okay with disagreeing with people. And like, you don't have to like everyone. You don't, and you don't have to agree with everyone. And you are allowed to argue about pro wrestling, all these things. All of that is fine. And I think those are the best parts of the wrestling community, are when we're talking about what we want to talk about. But when it starts getting to a point of where you start trying to mess with people in their personal lives, you don't post pictures of people's kids.
No, dude, come on, man.
Yeah, I don't even care if they've posted them. That's on them to post their kids.
Don't be making jokes about people's kids and shit. Like what kind of corny shit are y'all doing out here, man? It is not on you to post pictures of people's kids. It is not on you to send people's OnlyFans to their family. Who would think to do that in their dumbass brain? Like, oh, this is gonna be funny. To who? That's not funny. Nobody cares, dude. Get a fucking life.
Yeah, that shit is whack.
That's trash. Like, it is a lot of crazy stuff that fandom has done to women, and I just am like, y'all gotta relax, man.
Yeah, man. Like, honestly, I hate it too. It's like, and this isn't exclusive to pro wrestling. I get it that like most geek fandoms have this kind of shit, because like I remember 12, 13 years ago when I was working at GameStop, and I'd see like a woman browsing for something, and somebody would walk up to him and be like, "Oh, you like Naruto? Who's your favorite character then?" And then and it's like, oh man, and they're like doubling up on it too, right? It's like gaming and anime at the same time. And I would see that shit, right? And they're like, "What's the best episode?" And the way we would see that kind of shit is
niggas are corny too, bro. If you have an OnlyFans lady, send it my way. I want to check it out. Like, I don't know why. I'm not gonna send it to your mom. I'm gonna send it to my phone to open up and look at. I don't know what's wrong with these people, man. The world has changed. I live in the Bay Area, so like everything is like things are like wide open. It's different over here. We don't like live by different societal rules. The Isaiah Rashad thing was a big thing this week, and so like I was like, I didn't know that there still was going to be outrage like this about things like this in this day and age. But like, no, hip hop hasn't changed. Hip hop is still awful, very awful fan base. A lot of people saying a lot of awful things this week on people that's beyond the music and beyond the wrestling and beyond everything that we're supposed to be following these people for. We have to get back to where it is. This fucking social media, man, it's awful. People think they can say and do anything that they want in the world. So
I mean, if we're putting a bow on this, like, look, if you just don't agree with somebody, or if you like something that they don't like, or they like something you don't like, that doesn't matter. If you're taking it to some personal stuff just because of opinions, that's dumb. Man. Get off the internet.
For some wrestling opinions too, we're talking about two people fake fighting in underwear. Like, we have to get real, man.
Man. And like I said, you're allowed to have your opinion. You're allowed to disagree with anybody. Disagree with any goddamn.
I stay disagreeing with people all day, but I'm not gonna find their mom and shit, dude. I'm just gonna move on.
Yeah,
or block them. That's what I'm usually doing.
Or argue with them. Do what you want to do, but like keep it there, man. Like that's it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Thank you.
And that's okay.
Shout out to the homegirl, Cher. That's her name, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, it's Hannah who just commented here. I would hop on when this happens.
Thank
you guys.
Shout out to Hannah too.
Yeah.
So
she probably has on a tank top outside in 39-degree weather or some weird shit. They be cold out here.
And Myron says, these gaming/wrestling nerds are weirdos. Go outside and touch grass. Like, I mean, or stay inside and play your games. But
or stay inside, but just like be a regular, normal human. Stop being weird, man. Stop being weird.
That's it. Because I don't even know if I want any of them outside, like knowing.
Yeah, no, it's for real. If all these people touch grass at the same time, it's gonna be crazy outside. I'm gonna be back inside, so we have to figure out a system for this.
Yeah. Let's see. We got a couple more. We got Tony says, not going to lie, love that Keith Lee song. It also kind of reminds me of the intro song of that old Iron Man cartoon from the 90s. Man, didn't I only get like 10 episodes, or is there like more? I don't remember seeing much of it, but
no, there were more episodes. It was more than 10 episodes.
Okay, good. D-Lo, this is where the show takes a turn.
Not D-Lo Brown, DeLorean Diggs, right?
Yeah. So D-Lo says, sup, fellas, can we discuss Sheeta's recent comments? Basically translated to say that Swole was right.
Okay.
Phil, go.
Yes.
So, wow. Okay, so first of all, I thought that she made a lot of valid points. And I don't think that what she said is the same as Swole's, because I think it was very unique to her stance in the company and other Joshi wrestlers, and that getting over that language barrier is difficult. And that's not just an AEW thing. We've seen that with WWE, with Japanese wrestlers and some of their Latinx wrestlers. And so I felt like she had points, but I didn't feel like this was trying to drag the company. I feel like this was like, these are some of our struggles. Like, I might still enjoy working here, but these are struggles that we have to go through.
And you know, the thing is, you're talking about the uniqueness to her situation. Like, that's very true, because part of what she was talking about was, she said, you know, when we first launched AEW, there was a heavy reliance on Joshi talent, and Joshi talent, of course, all speaking Japanese, do work very well together. And she was saying that, and with this influx of American talent that's come in over the last 2 years, 3 years, that there is now a language barrier between talents that didn't exist before, when we were able to work with each other. And so, like, I get what she's saying there, and I feel like, again, she's talking about her experience. She's talking about, like, I don't necessarily see, like, and again, I never would have discounted Swole's experience, because Swole's experience is her experience and very unique to her experience as well. I don't necessarily think these are quite the same.
They're not. I don't like how people are putting these two things together. They're two totally different things. She said it's super hard to be a foreign talent coming to another country, learning another language, working with this is way different than what Swole was talking about.
And I think her saying stuff like they don't help you with, like, you know, how to get an apartment and all these other things that you might not be used to because you're in a completely different country. Again, that's just unique to her experience, and that's just the difference between coming from a Joshi promotion and coming to work for a large corporation. That's just, and so the part that I do think lends to Swole's points as well is just how unorganized AEW could be, and I feel like those points are kind of the same. And I do think that she had similar points in, you know, just how the women's division is booked and certain things like that, and things like TV time. Yeah, but I think people are just like, aha, it's the same. Like, I don't.
Just like we were saying, Tony Khan, gotcha. Like, no, I don't.
Like, I don't think that it's necessarily one of those things where I felt like Sheeta was saying she was unhappy. I just felt like she was like, these are things I've had to go through coming here, and I thought it was hilarious when she came back later, when she found out, people found out about it. Like, wait a minute, this was for a Japanese magazine. How y'all get a hold of this? Why y'all snitching? Like, I thought that was hilarious. Listen, Sheeta had a very funny week on Twitter. Her doing that Q&A and answering people's questions very flatly, like, all right, well, this is my answer. And I thought the funniest one was when
the catering one, right?
Yeah, when they were like, what is your favorite experience with AEW? And she was like sitting and catering and talking about wrestling, and people were like, aha, see, she's in catering too. And it's like, guys, shut up, you dorks. That's not what she meant. Yeah. Like, she is talking about just hanging out and catering.
She like to learn about wrestling, talk to other wrestlers, experience wrestling at a wrestling show.
Yeah, so
especially because like Sheeta of all people isn't one to just be hanging out and catering. Like, usually if Sheeta's at a show, because most of the time if she's not on the show, if she wasn't on Elevation or Dark that week, she's not there. Like, if she didn't have a promo or something, she's just back in Jacksonville where she lives. But otherwise, like, she's not really just like brought out just to be there. She's usually working Dark or working Dynamite, or I don't think she's ever worked Rampage, and she's in the intro.
I don't know. But yeah, I think people have to realize the difference between working in Japan and working promotions there, and just the whole system of working smaller promotions is different than working for a large corporation.
Yeah.
And I think everything that she said, including stuff in that Q&A, is just like, it's the difference from coming there and not just coming to a new country, but working for a large corporation. And so I thought it was also funny that, people were like trying to jump on her. She was like, I see that a lot of people don't understand that talking about wrestling is fun, guys. And it was just so flat. I was like, it was great. Mm-hmm. I thought it was hilarious. But no, shout out to Sheeta. Sheeta's great. Can't wait to see her back on TV.
Yeah. Sheeta's my favorite wrestler. I own, I think, every shirt Sheeta's ever put out. Although, I forgot to give Phil props because you were wearing her other one just the other week. So, yeah. I don't know. Yeah. She's my favorite. So
Sheeta.
That's that. A couple more. Wrestle Voice also said, I would say to save the other beats. The beats that I was talking about. Save the other beats for Shane Strickland, but brother has to show up with Ain't Nobody. I was watching some of his stuff on the indies earlier, and that entrance is just straight up fire. By the way, the I Won't Stop track, he killed it. I mean, look, I've heard a lot of stuff off of that upcoming Swerve City album. I know you have too, Reg.
Mm-hmm.
That... Honestly, I was my exact words to Swerve about this were that I feel like how had I put it? I was trying to think of my metaphors because I always have one. I said that look, those first two Swerve City albums were good. I think they're great, honestly, but I feel like with this one, their foot was on the gas. Like it is. That the video they've got coming out, you've seen it too, Reg. That one's gonna be fire.
Yeah, he's got to let us know when that merch is coming out too, because I want that Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, and Swerve directed that video, by the way.
Oh, look at Swerve!
So you guys will see it. You guys will see it. But,
he's about to kill him. Music, wrestling, bunch of other shit. Man, that's about to be lit.
Jennifer said, hopping in a little bit late, but just wanted to show some love. Jennifer, we always appreciate the love.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. And Van Twinblade says, fuck gatekeepers, and she won't touch my
No, don't fuck gatekeepers, though, because I think we should still have some gatekeepers. I think we don't have enough gatekeepers, honestly.
It depends on what it's for. For wrestling,
I think for wrestling, some people should be gatekeeped out of this. We just let these people exist.
If people are just trash people, then
that's what I'm saying. So people need to be gatekeeped. You need to be out of here. But we just let everybody. It's like hip hop. Hip hop is the most open arm genre. They let anybody in, even though they don't let us in anywhere.
I saw some takes about rap this week that. Yeah,
unfortunate and awful.
Yeah, I saw that the question posed of which I knew was going to spark a debate over who. I'm curious what you guys' answer is, but who was bigger in the 2000s, Eminem or Kanye West? And I was like, look, if we're just talking sales, obviously Eminem, but if we're talking influence on the culture, and granted, I'm not the biggest Kanye fan at the moment, but Kanye historically, look, man, I will never, ever, ever take away the shift in the culture that Kanye West had the moment he hit the scene. There is a shift you can pinpoint to when Kanye West entered the scene, and you can see what changed in hip-hop due to Kanye West.
Yeah, I mean, if we're arguing who's a better rapper, it's absolutely Eminem. But we're talking about who had a bigger impact in the 2000s. It's not just Kanye as an artist. It's Blueprint. It's things like Encore, which is one of the best Hove records ever. Come on, man. No, it's Kanye.
Dipset.
Exactly.
You can name like 5 million things. Kanye is. There's people that are still like, it's Kanye. Eminem did a lot. He is diamond. He sold more records than any rapper I think ever. So he did it, but different. They're just two different things.
Nah, Kanye absolutely had a bigger impact.
Hold up, I'm getting internet connection error thing. Am I kind of not great quality at the moment?
Yeah, you're a little bit.
You're a little fuzzy.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Fuzzington.
Nah, I know what it is.
You know what it is. Swerve. Oh yeah, so I went to a wrestling show last night.
Yeah,
I gotta get into that before we get into topics.
I want to hear about this, but then I gotta stop my camera for a sec. So
okay,
you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Last night was West Coast Pro Wrestling, a very popular independent pro wrestling company out here in the Bay Area, of course. This main event was insane. One of the best main events I've seen in a long time. ACH versus Mike Bailey, Speedball Mike Bailey. Incredible, insane match. One of the best matches that I've seen live in a long time. I know when they announced this match, people were just like, this match is going to be dope. This match is going to be crazy. And it exceeded those expectations, man. This was everything that you can want. Since Mike Bailey's been back on the independent wrestling scene, he's had a bunch of incredible matches pretty much with every opponent he's wrestled. He's had a bunch of matches in GCW. They all have been incredible. Same with ACH since he's been back on the scene. All the matches that he have been awesome, but this one is different. These two guys were locked in like you would never expect. They were hitting all their spots. Some of the chops that ACH hit on Speedball, one of them was like crazy, just like shook up the world. On the other side, the kicks that Speedball was hitting ACH with, at one point, I'm like, I would want to not be in there. Like, he's just kicking ACH right in his chest and his stomach and start like just destroying this guy with strikes, destroying this guy with all of his spots. There's Will Washington just going crazy, hitting all the marks, hitting all the spots, just working like two veterans with the task of coming in and tearing down the show. They ended up main eventing. AJ Gray's the West Coast Pro Wrestling World Champion, but he was in the match before the main event. He was in the match with it was him and Effie, who I got to meet for the first time. Effie, super great guy, incredible. Everything you would think about Effie, he's that person. It was AJ and Effie against Juicy Finau and Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu is insane. Will Washington is out again. ACH match, you have to go to independentwrestling.tv, get you a subscription, watch West Coast Pro Wrestling from last night. Another great match was Kevin Blackwood and Davey Richards. They went crazy. They also had a very hard-hitting, incredible match. Shout out to West Coast Pro Wrestling. And the next PWI dropping digitally on Thursday, I have a couple of great articles, probably the best article I've ever written in my entire existence on the man I just talked about, ACH. We talked about, I did that interview at the couple West Coast Pro shows ago. We talked about everything that's happening, talk about mental health in wrestling. Mental health in wrestling is probably the biggest part of the article. It's a really great article. I'm really proud of what happened. We're really proud of what I did with this. Shout out to ACH, but also in the Righteous Wrap Up this month is an article on West Coast Pro Wrestling because they have inspired me a lot. They are my home promotion now. Like, I haven't had a promotion that's 20 minutes away ever. So like to drive 20 minutes away and to see a match like that last night is amazing. So shout out to Scott at West Coast Pro Wrestling. Shout out to all the homies at West Coast Pro Wrestling, and shout out to y'all.
Hey, and speaking of indies, like we talked about Swole earlier, man, make sure you guys support Swole next week because she's got two big matches.
Oh yeah, let me get into a little bit of that. It's gonna be like I said, I tweeted a couple weeks ago that not only is February Black History Month, February is also Black Independent Wrestling Month. I just coined that phrase. It's not no one else in the world has been agreeing.
If somebody else takes it, I'm gonna get on your neck. You stole it from my man.
That's what I'm saying. But there's a bunch of incredible cards, incredible wrestling shows tonight in Texas. There's a really insane card, Black on 4 sides, a bunch of our favorite wrestlers, AJ Gray and Brian Keith against Fly Death, Calvin Tankman against Darius Lockhart, Trish Adora, Grapsody favorite against Janai Kai. This match is going to be insane. Just like check that show out tonight. Like Phil was saying, next week is insane. There's so many wrestling shows that are Black wrestling shows. We're going to start out with that one. Fight Club Pro Wrestling, main evented by Trish Adora and Big Swole for the Pan-African World Championship gonna be super fire. O'Shea Edwards on there, Billy Dixon's on there, all the other incredible talented people in Fight Club Pro Wrestling. Also, our other favorites, Black Wrestlers Matters, having a great show next week. The Black Wrestlers Matter champion is Jossie. He is tremendous.
Super dope.
We've talked about him a bunch of times here on Grapsody. Please check that out. Black Wrestlers Matter. Man. Support their stream. A bunch of people that we love are part of that show. JDX.
Big Swole is also on that
Big
card.
Swole's on that. Yep. Tootie Lynn is incredible. Great talent. I think ACH is on that show. So many great wrestlers. Also, Ohio Wrestling Alliance is having a great show. I think all these shows, most of these shows are the 19th and 20th. A lot of them are on the same day. It's going to be an insane weekend for Black Pro Wrestling next week. So please find a company to support. There's so many great, talented promotions, wrestlers, commentators, referees, backstage, podcasters, Grapsody. There's all kinds of Black wrestling excellence happening, and you guys need to check it out. I'm telling you.
Hey,
that's the indie report, a really fast one. Shout out to Independent Pro Wrestling, the glue that keeps pro wrestling together. There's so many talented wrestlers that are still out there. The market is flooded. The AEW isn't signing everybody. I hate when people say, you can't sign everybody. A lot of people are losing their contract. I'm telling you, they signed 2-year contracts. They're over. They're not a locker room full of 5 million wrestlers. Some of those wrestlers didn't continue on their contract, so they have space for new ones. They're going to make new ones. But beyond that, AEW and WWE aren't the only fucking shows in this world. I hate when people are just like, if it's not AEW, it's WWE, blah, blah, blah. The NXT trained these people to get to AEW. No, the fuck they not. That's a stupid thing they say. It's a stupid thing to say. Keith Lee didn't get trained for AEW and fucking NXT. They didn't even want him to be Keith Lee. They don't even want 90% of the people that come into the show to be themselves. So how the fuck would you train them to be to another company? If anything, they're training the wrestlers to go to their shitty main shows that no one fucking watches. So why would you say that NXT is training people to go to NXT, AEW? If anything, they're training people to go to Monday Night Raw to cut their hair and become managers and put on t-shirts and have dumb theme songs. Fuck off, man. Stop comparing these two companies. There's more wrestling in the world. There's Impact Wrestling. There's Ring of Honor. There's Ohio Wrestling Alliance. There's so many wrestling, GCW. There's all these wrestling in the world. There's not just two main companies. And only one of them is a very awful company. WWE, stop doing this bullshit to us. This fucking Saudi Arabia blood money show. Fuck off, man.
Hey, by the way, they are counter-programming us because I don't know if you realize, but that show is on the same time as Grapsody next week.
Oh shit!
Oh my god!
Okay, we have to talk about what we're gonna do for that.
We're gonna fight them. Will, what do you
mean?
mean?
We're gonna fight them.
They counter-programming us just like they counter-programmed AEW. Here we go again. But we're gonna beat them in the ratings. We're gonna get 1 million viewers.
We're gonna get 1 million.
Speaking of which, I went to Raw on Monday.
Ooh.
And first thing I didn't realize until I sat down was, man, we were in camera view the whole show.
Yo, Will getting excited for Lita was the highlight of the night for me.
I loved it. I loved Will getting stoked for Lita.
I didn't realize when we sat down, because I didn't know where the seats were. Me and my kids, we get to Raw, sit down, and they're filming
Grapsody watch along. That's hilarious, Drew.
I look up at the Tron, and I'm like, oh, we're just here the whole show. We're like right in our camera view. All right, well, this will be fun. And yeah, so people were tweeting at me.
Who'd you go with? Was it you and the kids?
Yeah, it was just me and the kids.
Nice.
So again, I talked about the Royal Rumble and kind of my experience with fans. As I mentioned, I love talking to people, and I love talking to people about wrestling fandom. So like, I make conversation with people around. So sorry if you're not a conversational person.
I don't know. I feel like this kind of a dad thing because I feel like me just going places alone and just randomly walking up to people like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Like, I feel like that's a thing that dads do.
I won't just like walk up to somebody, but if I'm like standing in line next to somebody, like, I might talk to you. I don't know. This is what
that is a dad thing. There's those Geico commercials or whatever where they're like, when you become a homeowner, you start to talk about like a parent. That's Will. He's just like, hey, so how about parking outside? Huh? That was something, wasn't it? Huh? Weather outside there is crazy, huh? Do you see Monday Night Raw last night?
No, look, I look, but the problem is this is how I've like always been. And it's, I guess in my adult years, because like I was like a really quiet. And my best friend says it all the time. Her big thing is to point out how in high school I was really quiet and like you had to like force me to talk. And she's like, now you like can't get me to shut up. And she's like, I don't know what happened when you turned 18, but you went from like, hey, why is Will always so quiet to like, hey, does this guy like ever stop? So
he started meeting girls, man. Come on.
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah. And he started making money talking for a living. So I mean, I'm gonna keep talking too.
so the funny thing was, the guy in front of me, we were talking and he was telling me about his experience at the just going to the show. And so I had asked him, I was like, so do you follow the product? And he's like, honestly, I haven't really watched since like 2002, but I heard they were coming. So I came. And I thought that was like really interesting.
Like 20 years.
Yeah, he was like, he said 2002. He was like, yeah, I remember like when Brock Lesnar came in. He was like, I kind of stopped watching when like Rock and Austin were no longer around. And I thought, oh, interesting. But I realized there is a lot of that. There is. Because as I mentioned last week with the Royal Rumble, one thing that Monday Night Raw and SmackDown all have is like if you follow any of the like ticket tracking stuff, like the day of, they get a huge bump in sales, and a lot of it is just the, oh, you hear the wrestling's in town, all right, let's go to that. And so there is,
and they be selling tickets for hella cheap.
Oh, if you buy day of, like they do a lot of like price drops day of, and so like if you like are contemplating going, like don't buy early, because one thing is they open up the hard camera sections day of, which will give you closer seats, and they usually charge like $20. So
I haven't bought a ticket. I bought a ticket to the WWE show the day of for the last 10 years. I haven't went to a show and not even for WrestleMania. I buy the ticket. I buy tickets on the same day. I don't care. I know there's never a wrestling. Anytime they say a wrestling show sold out, most of the time you could probably finesse yourself in there some way.
Yeah, and in this case, like we had good seats, and people were pointing out to me, they were like, "Hey, during that the quiz show segment, you sure looked entertained." And I'm like, "Man, I know. Look, like Riddle don't do it for me, Orton don't do it for me, so yeah, I was definitely like."
And hey, a quiz segment, like,
yeah, what? I'm like, hey, I could sure use some matches right now. That'd be fun.
Did they do that thing where the wrestler would come out and then they would have 500 things going on, and then the next wrestler comes out afterwards?
So they did the quiz show segment between. And I'll say this: I'll give credit where it's due. Chad Gable is turning into somebody extremely entertaining.
Yeah, I think this dumb shit that they're doing is working out really well for him.
I think
he's like Kurt Angle.
Like, Kurt Angle. He's very Kurt Angle. He's very funny. Like seeing him get egg on his face is actually very fun.
Right.
And he's very good at that. So like I'm. It's not all bad to me. It isn't. I will say that, like Riddle doesn't do it for me, and he does it for me less and less. Like the thing was, I was just talking with my old RBR co-host about this earlier, but like the thing about Riddle to me is, I didn't hate Riddle on the Indies at all. I actually like Swerve versus Riddle for the MLW Championship.
Ooh,
phenomenal match. Yeah, love that match. And like I didn't hate NXT Riddle. I thought he was a little more annoying, but like. At the end of the day, I thought that the idea of him being this like kind of goofy stoner guy who like is a legitimate fighter is still cool.
Yeah,
I feel like it's really main roster Riddle where I think there's a whole section of the fan base who doesn't even realize he's a legit fighter because I feel like that piece is gone.
They do not say that. That's crazy.
They don't say that. Yeah. Like
you've got birds coming out when he jumps and stuff. It's
like I've seen people say on Twitter, they're like, "Man, I can't wait to see the fight pin on the main roster." And I thought, what about this character? Has there ever been any indication that like he would, in his current form, belong in the fight pit? Let's remove NXT from the equation. Let's say you've never seen him in NXT. You've only seen him on the main roster. What about this guy says, like when they say, "Hey, I want to see him go head to head with Brock Lesnar." What about this character, do you know, says that he could hang with Brock Lesnar, this character.
Even from a character point for Brock Lesnar, all of he's seen is what you're saying. So why would he even want to wrestle?
Exactly.
Like, what has he done to earn a shot at me besides be a fucking goofy ass bird coming out of his sandals wrestler? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I hate main roster Riddle.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot stand him.
It's main roster.
The corniest wrestler on television.
Yeah, and like I said, I feel like the legitimate aspect of him isn't really emphasized at all. So he really is just like a goofball. But that
bro,
said,
like he left the UFC undefeated.
He did.
Only really left because they wouldn't let him get high. So like,
yeah, and that's not,
you know, like what?
That's not something that's emphasized a lot. That said, I will say that for the people who were wondering, they were like, "Where's your mask? Where's your mask?" Like, it was around my chin, but I was eating my $14 burger.
$14.
Why did you think I brought beans in, Phil? Come on.
Like my kid, like as soon as we sat
Gotta
down,
eat something, man.
Like I told my kids that I was like, man, I really don't want to get arena food, so you guys need to eat before we go. And then we get there, and they're like, we're hungry, and I'm like, did you guys eat like I said? And they're like, no. And I thought, okay, so I gotta go. I'm like, all right, so let's just go. Let's see what arena food's talking about. And yeah, burgers, $14. Spent $45 just for the three of us to eat burgers.
Crazy.
Man, crazy. I don't know if you guys know this. One of the funniest exchanges I've ever had with Will Washington is
oh my god, yeah,
being in the lobby at all out, and I'm like going to get a Punk ice cream bar, and I'm like, yeah, great, and I'm excited for ice cream bar. I'm walking away, and he's walking up with his kids, and he's like, how much did you pay for that? And I was like, $8, and he's like, I don't think we're getting ice cream bars, kids. And I looked at the looks in their eyes, and I was like, I don't know, man. I think he'll be back. And so I'm sitting in my seat looking at stuff through Twitter, and I see Will Washington, big smile on his face with his ice cream bar, with his kids. They all have ice cream bars too. And I was like, they got him. I knew it was gonna happen.
Okay, Will, guide us through what happened from Phil saying you until you getting ice cream. What happened there?
I stuck to my guns actually, but Uncle Theron was like, nah, man. Look, I got him. I got the ice cream bars, and he got the ice cream bars.
Boy.
So my dude
That's
Theron
so
Reynolds,
funny.
who guest
Will was
hosted
like, well, let me get one too, bro. I mean, if that's what we're doing.
he did. He bought everybody one. But I'm like, man, you bought 4 of them, $8. You spent $32 on ice cream.
Such a dad,
Because that's what I told.
love
Because
it.
that's what I told the kids. I was like, look. I know y'all want them CM Punk ice cream bars, but we could stop at 7-Eleven on the way home.
Yo,
I can spend $4. Look, I can spend $4 on some ice cream bars, kids, and we'll still have ice cream bars. But I'm not spending $8 on one ice cream bar when I can get.
You hit him with the "we got McDonald's at home."
He definitely did. To make
this McDonald's at home.
To make this story even funnier, when I got back to my seat with my ice cream bar, because of course I hype beasted and took the selfie with it because it's my man, it's Punk. So somebody called me out immediately. It was like, man, this man left his seat during the Jericho match to get ice cream bar, and I was like, I sure did.
Definitely.
Yeah. That was when I bumped into him at the lobby. Was there Jericho versus MJF?
Exactly. We both left our seat during the Jericho match.
I'm gonna be honest. I still haven't seen that match. I have not.
What was the match? Jericho and who?
Jericho versus MJF.
Yeah.
I've seen the ending to it. I remember how it ended. That's when I got back to my seat. I still have not seen.
It was already over. The feud was too much by the time they got to that match. So.
I went for the same time.
That's hilarious.
So still haven't seen that match. But yeah,
How were they? They just marketed a different kind of ice cream bar.
Right. That's why. That is the exact reason why I was like, look, man, I could at least get something with some like peanuts or something that's like. Or some caramel or something, but like this is just a regular ass ice cream bar with CM Punk on the wrapper. It ain't even on the bar itself. Like,
just give me the wrapper, bro. I'm about to take the trash.
I mean, it was good. It was a good ice cream bar.
Yeah,
very good ice cream bar. But $8.
I mean, still, we got ice cream at home. We got McDonald's at home.
We got ice cream at home.
We got ice cream at home. Don't taste the same. It might taste better. We got peanuts and caramel at the house.
Yeah, but either way. So yeah, back to Raw.
That's funny.
I mean, like I said, we had The kids had fun. They like chanting, they like screaming.
Bianca was there, right? Your daughter got to see Bianca.
Was there. She got to see Bianca. Billy got a couple of chants started, and he was like really excited when he gets chants started.
Who's Billy's person?
I mean, his person is in AEW. He's a Jon Moxley guy. Like,
okay.
That's why, like, that picture that I posted on my Instagram of, if you have never seen this, I have to show this to people watching Grapsody. And if you're listening on a pod, if you've downloaded this and are listening to the audio, I'm really sorry that you won't know what this even means. But I took this picture with Moxley and my son back in September, and the fact that like Billy is holding the Moxley action figure, got the belt. Mox signed the belt for him too, but he's holding the action figure.
That's
and
dope.
Then after we took the picture, like Moxley started playing with the action figure. He like grabbed it from him and he was like, "Oh, this is what they're doing with me, huh?" And he was like, "This one's got more hair than me." Yeah, no, Mox had fun with him, and but yeah, Billy's guy is Jon Moxley, and
that's what's up.
So that's like.
Hey man, I will say this: looking at the pictures you put up from Raw, that picture of your daughter pointing at the sign was harder than any picture that they put up for any of their wrestlers pointing at the sign. Like,
both my kids, they wanted to point at the WrestleMania sign. They saw it there and they're like, "Dad, can we point at the WrestleMania sign?" I'm like, "Yes, you." Can
it's
point
that season.
Yeah, you guys point at the WrestleMania sign. Like they had fun, and we. Like I said, we ate expensive food, and I told them because these kids have never seen the final hour of Raw in their entire existence.
Wow.
Because
lucky them.
It's past their bedtime, right? But the thing is, like that's obviously a real thing. I think about that a lot of how like when you look at the ratings, when you look at how it's broken down by hour, the third hour of Raw is the least viewed. There's a huge section of the fan base who doesn't watch that last hour of Raw.
Really?
And yeah, I mean, when you think about like the shift in how they can lose up to 500,000 people between the first hour and the last hour, there's a lot of people who don't watch that last hour of Raw. My kids have never seen it.
Yeah. I had when back in the day when Raw first started, like Monday night was the only night I stayed up late to watch wrestling. So yeah, you know, like,
and Raw was only 1 hour to begin with. And
then
they before they extended it. But yeah, and now it's 3 hours. But for my kids, it's a 2 hour show. And I made no exception. I told them, I was like, look, it's a school night. You guys do not get to stay through the entirety of the show. We are leaving in that last hour.
Damn, I got to get some kids so I don't have to stay for the rest of a WWE show. Well, kids, the show's over. Let's go. I left that the same way, dude. I left the last hour too, but not because I had kids. Because
we left after the Lita and Becky segment. We left, and I didn't do a Righteous Reg rant because that wasn't why we left. We beat traffic though. It was nice to get out. We just.
Another dad thing. Another dad thing.
I mean,
we leave early. We don't have to hit traffic.
I feel like the Lita and the Becky segment was probably the best part of the show. I really enjoyed Lita's promo. I thought her hitting the Twist of Fate and a really good-looking moonsault, by the way. I thought that was good. And man,
especially after that Twist of Fate she hit on Charlotte a couple weeks ago, where Charlotte hit the worm. That was
yeah. I don't know what she was doing. But man, I know there's a lot of discourse around Lita doing the match on the Saudi card, but I'm excited for her to get a real comeback match because I hated her last match. I really liked one of the things that I liked about the Rumble was the fact that Lita got revenge on Becky because that was the person that beat her in her last title match, and she eliminated her, and now she's in a title match for the title that she introduced. So I think that's cool. Now, do I think some of the Saudi stuff is kind of dicey? Yes. I did appreciate her answer. Shout out to my man DS at Regular Bell. I thought her answer to the question about it during the interview was a smart answer. I thought that what she said made sense. Some of the Saudi stuff is just really murky water, man.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. But happy for Lita though. I'm very happy that she's getting a title match in 2022. It's crazy.
Yeah, I never thought about it until recently, like maybe a couple of years ago when she talked about it. But yeah, the way she went out kind of sucked, and that she was when you talk about how much of an icon she was and how many people she inspired through the Attitude Era, and how many people she was a draw. Like the way the whole Team Extreme act got people to watch, like.
She main evented not for she main evented because she was putting up numbers, you know?
Right. Yeah. And like to think about how she went out with people calling her a hoe and a slut, and
I hated it.
Yeah, and like in hindsight, like, you know, a lot of that was turning a situation into a character, but it was a situation that really like got out there that she wasn't anticipating people knowing.
Right.
And yeah, that was, I don't know. Like, I honestly think about, it's really disgusting in hindsight. Thinking about how in what year was that? In 2005, when the news leaked that the situation with Edge and Matt and Lita, and they were in Madison Square Garden, I believe, and there was a promo being cut between Lita and Trish, and the crowd starts chanting "slut" at Lita. Lita was a babyface at the time,
right?
But the crowd was booing her and chanting "slut" because the news had leaked of what was going on.
She had to turn heel because
of that. And like Trish was trying to play it off like, oh, they're chanting this at me, because Trish was the heel at the time, so Trish was trying to like absorb it, and kind of deflect. And like I remember she did kind of a smart like, don't chant that at her, as if like to say that they're not chanting it at her, but like then the crowd kind of kept going and you could you realize what was happening. But like in hindsight, man, she just had a crowd like just calling her a slut, like, and not in a kayfabe way. They were like literally just doing
like
it
real.
because the story had come out.
So like, idiots.
I'm glad she's getting to go out this way and getting to go out in a way that
I wish it was at Mania. I'm gonna say it out loud. Fucking Saudi is awful. Like, that's cool that they're getting this moment. That's cool that they got that billboard, but this place doesn't even want them to be there. Honestly, like, doesn't want half the talent to be there. Doesn't want, like, this is just all bad. Just all bad.
I mean, and look, I get it. I think the wrestlers are trying to make the best of the situation that they can because they don't have a choice in this. The company that they work for has decided they're going to do this partnership with them. So,
$250 million, man. Like,
it is a big payday for them wrestlers. Like, for the talent,
that is crazy.
It is a bigger payday than WrestleMania. So like,
jeez.
Look, and I was trying to get all this serious stuff out of the way. That I'm happy for Lita because what happened to her was horrible. And I do think that goes to what we were talking about earlier. Just treat women better in our fandom, guys. Like, come on.
Easy as that.
And so, but the funny part about it is, it did feel kind of like the Kanye joint from Simpsons, where it's like, yeah, I thought about doing a Saudi show, but you know, when I did think about it, you know, Kanye is really cushy. You know, it did feel kind of like that. I'm not saying that she did it just for the money.
I think about that Kanye song way too often. By the way,
now it's just because I saw it.
Unexplained fires are a matter for the courts.
Now it's just because this week I saw two stories on Lita and on Mickey, both being like, well, why did you guys come back to this company that did awful things to you? And like, the moral of the story is bag.
Money's all right, man. I don't know, man. Money's kind of all right.
Can't be mad, man. At the end of the day, these are professional wrestlers, and they're all carnies, 100% of them. Shout out to all my friends.
Hey, everybody is trying to make a living, man. And again, I don't want
to give me $1 million. All right, I'll put on a fucking ninja suit that goes all the way up to my neck and fucking come on, I'll come through. Whatever. What do you want?
Hey, it's Saudi Arabia. You don't have the right to bear arms because you can't bear your arms.
Nope.
It's all sleeves.
Yes. Wow. So I don't. I also don't want to make this just a money thing with her.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's kind of a lazy thing to throw a Lita because again, she didn't get to go out the way she should have. Now, again, like Reg said, do I wish it was at WrestleMania? Yes, but still happy for Lita.
Yeah, I am too. But yeah, and obviously when her entrance hit, I go crazy because man, that theme song goes hard.
It does.
Especially
Lita,
when like they're literally censoring the word "fuck" in the theme song because the intro of the song is the "so fuck your rules, Matt." Like that shit is dope. I'm sorry, that song is great, and but
love Lita ever since them ECW days. I'm trying to find Lita lives in San Francisco. I'm like, that's across the bridge. Lita, like, tell me about them Team Extreme stories at your crib.
But yeah, I'll say that I still have the same problem I had with WWE shows that I had at the Rumble, which is that I don't know how much all this nostalgia is sustainable. Like, it is, everything's nostalgia. The shirt they were selling was Denver 316. They were advertising it on the Tron as Denver 316, and I just thought, Steve Austin still, man. Like that's still what we're doing here. We go to during the break. They're still doing the John Cena "You Can't See Me" cam. Give us your best, John Cena, and they're cutting to everybody in the fans, and you gotta give us the "You Can't See Me."
They have a Terry cam too. Did they play the Terry cam?
No,
like
they didn't. I don't know. I wasn't
serious.
They may have done that during the last hour.
Everybody do this thing. I'm like,
but I ain't doing that, bro.
Everything is nostalgia, and I feel like that hurts a lot of the current product. In that there's and even me, I as you could see in my pictures, I brought the undisputed title. I was also I'm also walking around with something from 20 years ago. And you know, like I said, like there's NWO and like everything is nostalgia with people. And I get it. It's an easy way to pop people because it's like, hey, there's this thing from my childhood. But on the other hand, again, Austin Theory got nothing, no reaction. Dewdrop, nothing. And I felt like there were just a number of acts that people just didn't care about unless.
Was Damian Priest there?
Damian Priest, nothing.
Nothing.
He faced AJ Styles, nothing.
Yeah. That match was actually pretty good too.
And he's the U.S. champion.
Right.
Nothing for Damian Priest.
Right.
And I thought like, there's like a lot of this current talent, a lot of this new crop that's come up in the last 2 years is getting nothing, and I feel like that's a problem.
Big problem.
On the other hand, you know who was over as hell? Bobby Lashley. That dude got
in Denver.
Yeah. And so, of course, Bobby Lashley from Denver. Bobby Lashley literally lives in Aurora, the city I live in.
Wow.
But
I used to go to the same barber, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why he was there, but
he brings his kids. But yeah, Bobby Lashley. But you remember I mentioned that one barber who's like really into Impact. Bobby was who got him into Impact, because when Bobby was coming into the shop, he was like, "Why aren't you wrestling anymore, Bobby?" And he was like,
"I'm over here."
He was like, "I still wrestle. I'm in TNA." And he said, "What's TNA?" And then he got into TNA, and he's been a fan since.
Wow,
and
that's dope.
That's where that came from.
He came at a wild time too, and that's every time I hear about people when people are like, I started watching WWE in 2014. I'm like, did you? Why did you stick around?
Yeah,
it always sounds weird to me.
Yeah, and he said I've been watching Impact since 2014.
Right.
It's like you missed all the Spike TV era. That's weird. But so either way, Bobby really over. And
that's great to hear.
Yeah, and that was last time.
Last time for that.
Last time they were in Denver, they were big Bobby chants. But this time around, like, he comes out and the whole crowd was like ready for Bobby Lashley from almost the moment the show started. I feel like people were just anticipating getting to see our guy. Our guy is, look, we have 3 wrestlers that are credited from Denver. All right. But they're great ones. We got Bobby Lashley. We got Vader. 2 Cold Scorpio. Those are 3.
That is fire. Those are some fire wrestlers right there.
Yeah. Those are the 3, though. Yeah, that's...
To bring our Raw conversation full circle, because I find Riddle extremely annoying, those weeks when Bobby would just come out and beat the snot out of Riddle, I loved it. I loved every second of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked when Lashley was doing like, I don't care what gimmick you have, I'm gonna beat your ass. Like, whatever you're supposed to be, I'm just gonna lock you up, and it's not gonna matter. That was super dope. Bobby Lashley has been, since he's came back, they've realized that we have a fucking superstar in Bobby Lashley. Let him
once
go.
they turned him, because that first
the
stuff with Elias,
I erased that shit out of my brain.
Yeah,
I don't
we don't need to talk about that. But man, shout out to MVP.
MVP really helped turn him around. And I think once they got over the Bobby's favorite post stuff, which I thought was hilarious, but but once they got past that and he was like kind of taken seriously as a heel with Lio Rush, even that stuff was fun. So yeah, my experience at Raw, like it's one of those things I probably wouldn't do by myself again, but my kids have fun with it, and so I will continue to probably take my kids to shows. I don't know. But they also have fun. Like, they have fun pretty much any show they go to. You saw, like, when my kids went to Effie's Big Gay Brunch. That
had a blast.
They had a blast. Are you kidding me? My son thought that was the most interactive wrestling show he had ever been to. Because, You know, he was right up front.
Because in WWE, they're way over there. In independent wrestling, they're right here.
Yeah, and he was just like, I can't believe like the wrestling's happening like right in front of me, and people
got to throw some streamers.
Yeah, he got to throw the streamers. Like he was, you know, my kids love wrestling. It is very much their thing, and I'm glad I was able to pass that down to them. And let's read a couple of super chats, because Dante says 4 years at GameStop, and I would see that sort of gatekeeping every shift. Grody.
Big time Grody.
So Grody.
Van Twinblade said Tootie versus Trish Adora was fire at Glory Pro Sunday.
Oh, I need to see that.
Riley says, saw AQA for the first time Wednesday. Loved that shooting star press. I think she'll be a future AEW Women's World Champ in 3 years. Let's talk about that, because... Oh.
No, I was just thinking, like, that's really the first time you've seen her. It is so weird to me that she was on NXT. She pinned Toni Storm, and people don't remember that.
So, AQA debuted and signed. So 6 weeks ago on this show, we had Sean Dean on this show.
The captain.
And he talked about...
Shout out to the captain.
He talked about what he's working on and how much influence he has. And, like, we really got to give Sean Dean the credit here. He brought her in for this match, got her seen.
And got her signed.
So, shout out to the captain.
Shout out to the captain. Hey, the people that are first seeing AQA for the first time, please go to her Twitter account, because she has a video where she hits a shooting star press off of a steel cage out in Texas. She used to be down with Reality of Wrestling. She was trained by Booker T, as you can see. And you can see she's incredible talent. That match with Jade was fire. It got her signed. She hit both of them were incredible in this match. They both hit all of their marks. Jade hit that Tour of the Islands.
It's
Jeff
the
Cobb
eye of
squat.
the storm. It's the eye of the storm now.
Jade hit the eye of the storm, tore it down.
Dope.
AQA with that shooting star press, near fall, so fire. They hit all the marks they needed to. I loved it.
So
yeah, I will say this, because some people were like, "Well, I can't believe WWE let her go." I heard this week, I talked to somebody who said to me that it might have actually been medical related. So I can't confirm that, so I'm not going to say outright, but I heard that there was some medical stuff involved in that, and that it wasn't just a straight up like, oh, WWE doesn't see anything in her, she's gone. Right. I think there was... Because look at her. She talks well. She looks great. She wrestles great. Like, there's not a whole lot missing there. But and they wanted to use, like, they had her beat Toni Storm. You're right, on TV. She had 5 matches on TV.
They like them Booker T students too. Like,
man, when you look at the women that have come through Reality of Wrestling, like Kylie, Hyan, AQA. They've had some great women come through.
Athenia worked out there for a while.
I don't know exactly what the detail was on that, but that's at least what I had heard. That's that. But I'm really happy for everybody.
She got a contract, man. That's super fire, man. Just like off a badass match. That's exactly like as a pro wrestler, that moment is what you want. Like, okay, they're giving me my moment to shine on cable TV, national TV, in front of a big giant crowd. Like, I have to kill it, because if I do, could potentially get signed. And look, bam, killed it, signed.
And you could see that they were kind of anticipating it, because they filmed some stuff with her, right? Like, not only did she have that promo, but there were all of those B-roll shots that they had in the promo that they had filmed in the arena when it was empty. Like, they don't do that for everybody. And I felt like it all looked good. It all I feel like a debut couldn't have gone much better, except we got one in the show elsewise. But I feel like for people that were seeing her for the first time, I think this was great for her. And
her and Red Velvet's gonna be fucking tight. I want to see that shit.
Yeah,
man. So yeah, I tweeted after this match that, you know, Jade is improving. Really, like, I mean, I feel like her pacing has gotten so much better. I feel like she does all of her big moves really well.
I feel like she might be working with Bryan Danielson. I feel like,
oh man,
I feel like she's doing a lot of things. You know,
did she tell anybody that?
I heard that too. Yeah, that you know, that's a really good scoop, man.
Yeah,
to get that.
I don't know. No, but legit, every single match she's getting better. This one showed that she can lead the way. Like, she can be in there with all kinds of different talented people and make a dope match and have a great moment.
And I will just say, shame on you, Atlantic City. Shame. Because y'all were quiet through parts of this match. Y'all wouldn't give these women nothing. They put on a good match, and you guys were just sitting on your hands. Shame on some of you guys on Twitter that were trying to jump on it. Shame on you.
There were... I feel like there's also placement in the show, though, because y'all had because they had that really hot tag match, CM Punk and Jon Moxley versus FTR, literally right before
that drains the crowd, drains the crowd.
And then the very next match, they have to follow that.
That's true. I'm just also judging by people trying to jump in my mentions and say this wasn't a good match. No, that match was good. I just feel like people are just so overly critical when it comes to women's wrestling sometimes. And you guys that just pick out every botch in women's matches, knock it off, guys. Just watch the matches and enjoy the matches.
Did this one have any botches?
It didn't.
No, I feel like the end, there was a weird spot where AQA had to jump down.
Yeah.
But it wasn't horrible. People were acting like the match was terrible. No,
they don't even know what botches are anymore. Half the time I'm like, that's not a botch, dude. That's
exactly.
You don't even know what you're talking about. Just
it was a fun match. I thought Jade looked good. Like you guys said, that Tour de Islands was phenomenal. I love the way she put her whole body into it at the end. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, but
phenomenal, man.
AQA officially signed. She's all elite. She got her graphic.
Shout out to another black woman out here killing it. She's fire. I said it on Twitter, man. Texas as a region is insane. All the talent coming out of there is crazy. I said they possibly could be the best region in pro wrestling right now because the talent that they have, as we mentioned, AQA, Roxy, Hyan, Brian Keith, Mysterious Q, Will All Day. There's so many incredible talented people. Roxy, who might be.
She got her offer. So.
I mean, that was as soon as the first time I saw Roxy, I'm like, oh yeah, we know where she's going. We know exactly where she's going.
And then once she lost the Ring of Honor World Championship, we're like,
okay,
we know what's happening.
She's young. She's very great in the ring. Send the money already.
Yeah. So we got some more super chats. Shout out to Mike Bailey for not giving up on wrestling after not being about to travel for a few years.
Was still killing. He was still wrestling. He still wrestled for 5 years, just not in America. He was still going 1,000%. That's why he's amazing now. So.
We got Andrew says, sitting in my wife's car with my 4-year-old waiting on roadside recovery. Thanks for the entertainment. Naomi versus Charlotte was fire. Well, it's funny that hey, I hope that gets fixed.
Yeah, hopefully you're not in anywhere that is snowing or anything crazy like that. Hopefully it's just
super
safe. Chill off the.
But hey, guess
Thank you for listening.
Also, you brought up our number 2. Naomi challenged Charlotte for the SmackDown Women's title in the main event of SmackDown this past week.
Naomi has been through a lot to get to this moment. I tell you that, boy.
Although, what's funny is in the Jade interview, I pointed out that 5 black women had main evented on national television, and it was I said it was Jade. I said Red Velvet, Bianca, Sasha, and Naomi. Naomi had her first SmackDown main event.
And you forgot Awesome Kong.
I guess I guess I was mostly talking between the two, between AEW, WWE.
Oh, I get it.
WCW.
Okay, yeah.
But
I saw people being like, Awesome Kong, don't forget about Awesome Kong. We do not forget about Awesome Kong. We know Awesome Kong.
We don't not forget about Awesome Kong. More so, I guess, because TNA is kind of tough because
shit was weird. Shit was weird when they were popping.
Yeah,
when Kong and Gail Kim were doing their thing, they were sometimes on Spike TV, they were on Fox Sports, they were on. Yeah. It was just confusing. So but no, we would never forget about Awesome Kong. She's an incredible talent.
But I was gonna say Naomi had her first main event in 2017 against Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Mm-hmm. So these two go back a long way, actually.
Charlotte's a big Naomi fan too. Anytime she gets a chance to speak on Naomi, she always speaks super highly of her.
Now, of course, in 2017, Naomi was the SmackDown Women's Champion. Charlotte was the challenger, and of course, at that time, they were so afraid to actually let Naomi go over that this ended in a DQ. But this time around, we had a straight-up SmackDown Women's Championship main event. Again, it's a main event we've seen before between these two. These two aren't even. I think people kind of feel like every time these two go at it, they're like, "Wow, Charlotte and Naomi," like almost forget their history because it's never happened on pay-per-view. It's never been but it has always happened over the SmackDown Women's Championship. It has always been this belt, these two. It has been the main event of SmackDown before, and they've done it a few times, but it always feels fresh because it's never been like a pay-per-view feud. And so here we had these two going at it in what was a solid main event, I thought. I think is predictable, but otherwise, like there's no way you thought Naomi was going to win. Right. But they did some scary near falls toward the end, even one where the referee was repositioning for the first count, then the crowd thought it was the 1. So then when they hit the 1-2, the crowd thought that was 2-3 and thought it was the end of the match. So
nice accidental false finish, huh?
Yeah, man, Naomi's great. I say all the time that they are leaving money on the table with Naomi. She is so marketable. She's such a good wrestler. She's somebody that's been around for over 11 years at this point. Like, she should be used more. She should be in situations like this more. I thought she should have won the Rumble. I don't care. And this kind of proved that she should have won the Rumble, and this should have been the WrestleMania match.
Probably would have gotten a better match.
And this match was really good. I thought she looked great. The only thing, like I said, is like Will said, rather, that it was predictable because they've already told us that it's going to be Charlotte versus Ronda, so there was no way Naomi was going to win this match. But other than that, I thought it was great. Really good match.
I didn't see it, so
I watched it this morning.
It's on a shitty show.
I mean, everything else on that show was kind of boring, but I would tell you to watch that match, though, Reg. I
definitely want to check it out because I want to see anything that Naomi does, and Charlotte always brings it when it's big time. Charlotte. It was the main event.
Yeah.
It was the main event.
Shout out to them. That's dope. Shout out to Naomi. Hopefully she does get this led to her. They announced a match at the Blood Money show. Naomi and Ronda against Charlotte and
Sonya.
Yeah.
So
Sonya, careful out there. Jesus Christ. What the fuck? This fucking place, man.
So I was really annoyed after the match that she did all of that and she proved herself in this title match, and then it went right back to Sonya coming out, and we're right back into the Sonya program, and it's like, just end this feud. Nobody cares anymore. Like, I don't care about this feud, man.
End it.
I feel like this.
Are they still leading to a WrestleMania match with Sonya and Naomi? Is that what this is?
I don't know at this point. Like, and I mean, if it's a WrestleMania match, cool. It is kind of cool that she's been in a meaningful storyline for the first time.
Right.
But I just feel like this feud is going on way too long.
It's so long.
And finally,
he arrived.
That's right.
Your man Keith. Big Keefa. Keith Lee was the mystery. I put out a great video if y'all saw it on Twitter where I put out the spoilers that Keith Lee was going to be there. Everybody knows that I'm the spoiler man. I'm trolling. Keith Lee debuted, man, against Isaiah Cassidy this week on AEW Dynamite. It was, I don't want to say it was the worst kept secret, but a lot of people were anticipating this, and I think it was a nice payoff.
I'd say it was the worst kept secret. Like,
it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
I'll ask you guys, because I keep seeing this talking point on Twitter that wrestling journalism is kind of ruining wrestling because they keep putting out the spoilers for things but ahead of time, and like things are not allowed to be legitimate surprises anymore.
And then last night, look at it, the number one company in the fucking world puts out a giant spoiler. Here's a spoiler.
So I thought it was interesting because I saw people say that a part of that what ruined the Women's Rumble is because we knew Ronda was coming. But I'm like, guys, we knew CM Punk was coming as well. We knew that Bryan was coming to All Out.
Yep.
This isn't something for just that company. Like, even when you look at outside of wrestling, we knew that Tom and Andrew were going to be in that movie. They just didn't confirm it. That's kind of the world of the internet right now. We're all plugged in. We all know what's happening behind the curtain. But I just wonder because, like, we knew it was going to be Keith Lee. Did that ruin this for anybody?
I wouldn't think so because it didn't look like it, but
I feel like the pops these days are huge too.
Yeah.
When people are getting the thing they were expecting, because
like the CM Punk pop was crazy and people knew it. You know what I mean? Like they knew it.
It's been 10 years because I feel like people think that this is a recent phenomenon, and it's not. 10 years ago, Brock Lesnar returned after WrestleMania 28. That was the absolute worst kept secret because the way the moment
they announced it the earlier that day. I remember I was flying home from WrestleMania, and I remember them being like, "Brock Lesnar's going to be there tonight." I was like, "Fuck!" Like I didn't go to the show.
Everybody had spoiled that, right? And that was like it was so well known by that point that so whenever they showed the moment, they only ever show Brock's Titantron hitting and the crowd going nuts, and then he comes out F5 Cena. The part you don't see these days is that 5 minutes before the crowd was chanting, "We want Lesnar." They knew
as soon as the show started, they wanted Lesnar.
Yeah, everybody knew. Guys had signs. They were focusing on signs for Brock Lesnar because it was out there already. All the news had broken. But it was still a moment, right? It's still a moment, like, because even with spoilers like that, there's always the doubt in your mind. And I feel like the crowd had the doubt. Like, I saw the video. Somebody posted a fan video of them shooting the ramp of, like, is it Keith Lee? I hope it's Keith Lee. Man, what if it's not? What if it's, like, Cody or something? And then all of a sudden the music hits, and then dude screams. He's like, "Oh my god!" Like there's still that anticipation of, is this rumor correct? I don't know.
Right.
Just to get a little confirmation is always cool. You know?
Yeah, and it still got a big reaction. The moment they saw, it didn't even say Keith Lee on the Tron. It said he is limitless, and that was it. And everybody knew. The part that amazed me too was he gets in the ring, crowd starts chanting, bask in his glory.
Sounded great.
And you know, the thing that got me was, it's been years. Like, this isn't just like he left NXT doing all of this and he just picked right back up. Like, Adam Cole got to basically just do everything he was doing before. But like Keith Lee, when you think about the fact that he hasn't been in front of a crowd, like the NXT crowd, since when was that? February of 2020, right? So it's been 2 years since he was in front of the NXT crowd, and then he worked the pandemic stuff in NXT for a little while, and then then he moved up to Raw, where he had to abandon all of that and work the Thunderdome, and then when crowds came back, they were like, "Nah, Bearcat." Yeah. So like all of that is gone.
He never had a moment to be himself in front of the crowd, pretty much.
Right. It had been a long time. Like, really, when you think about it, his last moment in front of, like, a major crowd was that last, I think it was TakeOver Portland. Did he work TakeOver Portland? Now I have to look that up. Because
that's the match where he wrestled Cross, right? That was his last one? Wasn't it that TakeOver? No, I think that might have been in the... No, I
don't think that was Portland.
Yeah.
No, he was not. He wrestled Dijakovic.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right.
That's right. There you go. That's right. No, but the cross match wasn't TakeOver Portland. That was
right. Yeah, that was some NXT episode or some shit.
So, but yeah, TakeOver Portland was the last time he worked a big crowd, and before that, the last time was Survivor Series with Roman. So it's been a while since we've seen him in front of, and that was, I think, 5,500 fans at in Atlantic City. All of this was like him getting to return to form. He got to come out. Yep. He got to conduct the crowd, and he got to be like smooth operator Keith Lee again. And
I have a rant inside of me about Keith Lee, them talking about his weight issues, but I'm gonna save it.
Yeah,
because I don't want to
put a tack in it.
I don't want to build my blood pressure up again. Yeah. But Keith Lee's weight issues are on the docket, and I'm coming for you, Dave Meltzer.
Yeah. And a big piece of that is shout out to Bix, who noted that a big piece of why Meltzer and Wade Keller are bringing this up is because their sources, and I have those same friends, are WWE office people. And WWE office people are going to bring up points from WWE, which like they had frustrations with Keith Lee and Wade, and so when they are talking to Meltzer and Wade Keller and things like that, and they're like, yeah, man, like Keith Lee's weight was a real problem.
Like,
and they're telling them these things. So that's like stuff that's fresh in their mind when they're talking about what's happening in AEW. I think that's a lot of what it is. I thought, so for those who don't know, in case you haven't been watching, I host a show on Wednesdays or on Thursdays called Day After Dynamite, in which this past week I had on B-Rob. Week before that I had on Theron Reynolds. And I grade Dynamite segments. It's on Fightful Overbooked. YouTube.com.
Shout out to that. Yeah, better listen to that.
Yeah, shout out youtube.com/Fightful Overbooked. I kind of talk about the events of Dynamite the day before. I grade segments on a scale of F to A, and then I have a special S tier. I gave this segment an S tier because I thought that there was no better way to introduce people to Keith Lee than this. If you had never seen Keith Lee before,
perfect.
You were like if you wanted the things you loved about Keith Lee, you got it here. If you had never seen Keith Lee before, you were amazed. And I feel like as long as you accomplished both of those things, home run segment.
Next week I would put him in the ring with Brian Cage, but that's just me because I like chaos. I think a match like that with two big boys doing that big shit would go crazy. They have to do that soon.
So
I don't know where Brian Cage has been, but like find him.
So I thought this was a great segment. They did so many things well. I keep seeing this take on Twitter of people saying that AEW does not market to us, meaning it doesn't market to black people. And I think people are still missing what the appeal of AEW is. It markets to indie fans. It markets to PWG fans, Ring of Honor fans,
PWG
New Japan
Young
fans. Yeah. And I feel like this episode, if anything, proved what their appeal is because we had the New Japan thing. We had Keith Lee, who was at Ring of Honor and PWG. And I feel like despite everything that you might have liked from NXT, which is just basically what he did everywhere else, I feel like this gave you everything we loved about NXT Keith Lee. It gave you everything we loved that he was doing everywhere else. And it was just like, no, we don't want to change a thing. You're perfect as is. Just be you.
Go for it. Yeah, have fun.
I thought it was great that he got to come out and be himself. And I thought, like I said earlier, Isaiah was great in this match. I felt like
Isaiah did great. And I could tell he's having fun with
so much fun
with how much people are, because I tweeted this out, but I said that that Beal is gonna live in black social media forever. That is gonna be
that's great.
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's so many uses for that.
It is. It's gonna turn into that.
If you've never seen pro wrestling, but you see big black dude throw a little black dude that far, there's so much you can do with that. That is going to live forever.
So fire. I'm just happy that Private Party is getting away from, they're leading to getting Private Party away from from Matt Hardy's family office or whatever the fuck he has.
And getting HFO them now?
Yeah. Out of here. Private Party needs to be over here existing by themselves, becoming tag team champions one day.
Yeah, that gif of him doing that Beal is going to turn into
perfect.
Basically the other Keith Lee gifs of him like sneaking up behind
Adam Cole.
Balor.
The one Balor. Balor, Adam Cole. Yeah, I mean, Keith Lee, he's got it good for the memes.
Yeah,
it's going to live on.
One. Yeah, this one's going to live on. No, I thought this was a flawless introduction, though. I thought that Private Party were the right guys to kind of sell everything that Keith Lee puts out.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure where he was going to be placed, but this is the right spot for him. Yep. I think TNT title picture especially.
Come in for you.
Well, and that TNT title picture is like really heating up because all of a sudden you've got Andrade in there. You've got, but then, 2 years ago, I had said that the first time they did the Darby versus Sammy match at Revolution, I was like, this would be the perfect match if AEW had like a secondary championship because they didn't have the TNT title yet. And it is crazy that 2 years later now, we're seeing it this Wednesday. It's going to be Darby versus Sammy Guevara for the TNT title. But there's other pieces there. Like, I don't know. I like this. I really.
And
do.
shout out to Sammy Guevara. I tweeted that he always gets the Rampage match, and the crowd is a little bit tired, but he always brings them back for the finish. Every single time he does something that pops the crowd super huge, and he brings them right back. So shout out to Sammy Guevara. He's playing a great role in that TNT champion.
I do think that Rampage is going to come off a whole lot better in May. And I say that because a lot of these AEW tapings have been on the East Coast. And so Rampage in that last hour, we're talking about I
get to be a part of this.
We're talking about near midnight, right? But the times that they've done just in Central Time Zone, Rampage in the Central Time Zone, still live. It's still crazy good crowd. And I'm curious how that's going to come off on the West Coast when...
And the West Coast are going to get 2 live shows.
Right, because Rampage for the West Coast is going to start at 7 o'clock. Like, that's...
Wow.
It's about to be lit, baby.
That is a big difference.
That's a huge difference of like, nah, man, our evening is just getting started here on the West Coast.
Hurry up, man. Tony Khan, bring that shit, bro. I've been trying to see this shit for a long time.
Like, we know it's supposed to be happening in May, and that the question is just what dates. I know I've heard that there's supposed to be that you've heard the same thing. It's the Northern Southern California.
Rumor has it.
Yeah. So we shall see. We shall see.
We about to see AEW out here in May, so fucking get ready if you're in California.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're supposed to be saying that. Tony Khan's going to be in Will Washington's DMs right now.
I never got that. First off, Tony Khan himself put that out there that he said in the lead up to Double or Nothing, which happens at the end of May.
Double or Nothing is going to be in Vegas, and then they're coming to fucking California.
Yeah, so like
I don't know.
There's nothing you can. There's nothing new here that they're coming out to the West Coast in May, but they're gonna hit the major cities. So
in May,
that's gonna be cool.
In California,
gotta give Matt Hardy props as well because he did his part in this match as well. He teased the Jeff thing that we talked about last week.
He left through the crowd.
He left through the crowd the exact same way. They did the erratic behavior thing.
And Tony Schiavone said, "This is really erratic behavior." Said the exact words.
That was great. I think the Jeff stuff is going to be good. And I like the way that they're building that feud on Twitter as well. Shout out to Matt.
Let's exit with our super chats, shall we? Because Van Twinblade says, "How much to make Will cosplay Dan the Dad?" Quite a bit.
He's Will the Dad every day. So
T5 the Great says, and that's why I F's with Reg in this show. That rant was everything.
Get them F's out.
I say.
And Mike says, with Riddle, all I can think is CD sticker paper.
That's funny.
Raphael says Jericho versus MJF was also my bathroom break at All Out.
Hey.
As soon as that music hit, I said nope.
I said nope. Then they're still singing this song so loud.
Yeah.
No, look, Judas is over, man. Whatever.
Judas is over. It's never gonna stop.
Look, Jericho seems never gonna stop.
Jericho seems to be going heel too. Like I noticed a lot of stuff he was saying was not likable stuff. It felt like old Jericho. But
that segment was great. Santana killed that segment.
Santana's a phenomenal talker. We've seen it before. We saw it in the Moxley feud and all of that. But like when he gets a chance to get on the stick and he got to like really talk down Jericho, I thought that was great shit.
Man, got a Ring of Honor title match coming up.
And he does. Yep. Eloquent says WWE continues to influence the world. Yeah, that seems to be the nomenclature that
everybody's talking about this Ali tweet. And I pulled it up. He said, "I'll see ya all in like 2.5 years." Ali tweeted that. Mustafa Ali.
Yikes!
Yeah. I'll see you all in 2.5 years. Jeez,
he's trying to go he's going that Pac route, huh?
I'm saying.
Mike says thoughts on Lashley and MVP. They are incredible. I think they are an incredible duo.
Yep.
And I think that
perfect pairing. Like Lashley wouldn't be in the same position as position as he is without MVP. So shout out to MVP. Hopefully one day we could talk to him on Grapsody.
Ryan said, in defense of the Atlantic City crowd, placement was tough, and we thought it would be a squash based on the history. Ended up loving it, but we were confused. Yeah, I mean, AQA wasn't somebody you'd seen before, so I can see where, like, you know, she's coming in, all right, she's going to get squashed really quickly by... but I think the tell should have been that she had an entrance.
Right.
She had music. And shout out Mikey Ruckus again, who said that he didn't hear about that till that afternoon and whipped up and got that theme together. And got a theme together for. So
Ruckus, I have my friend here, AQA. Go for it.
And I mean, hey, I do think the AQA started to win that crowd over. And they did get up for the shooting star prize.
Yeah.
Wrestle Voice says, did you guys notice Jade's chain wrestling on the ground? She is so special, and you can tell she has work.
Wonder who taught her that. Wonder who taught her that.
Dan says, I hope Jade uses the Tour of the Islands as an alternative finisher because she made that look so devastating.
I like that better than her regular finisher, honestly. Let's switch it up.
I do too.
Yeah, hey, keep it as that.
She said Eye of the Storm. Somebody tweeted it at her. They're like, you should call it Eye of the Storm. And she was like, I think I will.
Yeah, let's keep that.
Mike says, AEW has improved a lot in developing women's storylines, but only having one women's match on 99% of the shows means the stories progress at veer speed.
Women's wrestling is coming.
I agree and I disagree. I do think that they should have more women's matches on Dynamite, but I do like that they have spent more time on TV building women's matches. I do think what they're doing with Layla and Chris Statlander, for example, is great. No. I think the stuff they're doing with Mercedes and Rosa is great.
So good.
They've come a long way. I do think that there's still a ton of room to improve, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do think that a second match is necessary. I think I don't just want to see like a second match kind of shoehorned in, like hey, we're just doing a match just to do it.
Like that 5-minute thing they did with Deeb.
I think that's leading to Sheeta's return, though.
Yeah, I like the story they're going to tell with that, though.
Okay.
But like, because there have been shows that had more than one women's match. We also had the St. Patrick's Day Slam last year, which had two major feuds paid off on that show. We had earlier in the show it was Jade versus Red Velvet, and then late in the show the main event was Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa, and I think that's one of those cases where you had two. I'm a quality over quantity guy. Like, I do agree that I want to see more. Yeah. But I want to see more where it matters. Like, if Layla Hirsch versus Chris Statlander gets paid off on the same show that Sheeta and Deeb gets paid off, like, that to me is, or if we're working toward two major things, like, that's how I feel. I don't necessarily just want to see kind of a box checked off. But I do agree that there should be more. Kai says, how long until Keith is TN Lee champion?
Not very long. I
feel like that's an easy one.
Yeah.
Shanika, shout out Shanika. She says, I knew Keith Lee was showing up and still got hype/emotional. That man looked so happy and I was happy for him. That pop was wild.
Man, I think the other part that's kind of left out, he kind of had a really rough 2021 with health issues and everything going on. So I think part of it just him being free to be himself and just
a redemption story.
Yeah, it just was really cool to see him out and wrestling.
He got married and then he hit AEW.
Yep.
Killing it.
Which, like, the sleuths of the internet figuring out that the honeymoon photos that he was posting were from 2020. They're like, wait. These look like vacation photos from a couple years ago. So Dan says, so many great things about Keith Lee's debut that I loved, but what I loved most of all was just how happy he looked. Every time he smiled, I smiled.
Let Keith Lee be Keith Lee.
Man, that sign with his silhouette on it, that was fantastic.
Right behind him.
Yeah. But again, that's, when you spoil it, fans know to do things like that.
Irene says, the narrative that AEW doesn't market to blacks feels blacks fans feels almost purposely dismissive of the black indie fans that are very invested in the scene.
I don't like that either. I agree.
I see. There's a fine line because, like, what you were saying earlier, like who they market for, they market as fuck to me. Like, so it's hard for me. It's hard for me to be like, they don't market to me. They market 100% to Righteous Rich. So it's hard to like. It's hard. It's
Big J sent a humper chat. Says, fantasy booking. Brian faces all three that he called out for a faction back-to-back weeks, leading to Brian at Revolution. That's
happening.
Yeah,
I hope so.
And then
I don't know about the Mox match. I think they're just going to end up being together, but that's going to happen.
What if? So he called out Lee Moriarty, called out Wheeler Yuta. Like, what if? And Daniel Garcia. What if after facing all three of them realize Brian was right, and then that's like Brian leading a super faction of technical dudes who kick fucking ass.
I want it.
Yeah.
Feed it to me slowly.
I don't think that Mox is going to join him, by the way. I think that they're going to have the match. Man, and I mean, we didn't talk about Jay White. Jay White showing
We'll get to talk about Jay White because he's going to have a match next week against Trent Beretta.
How about we end it like this? Jay White? I don't really get it. Okay, nice to know you.
One more.
Grapsody.
We got one more. Hold on. Numlocks says, would WWE fire Ali if he started a Twitch? No, WWE's not going to fire Ali. That's the point here. Is that they want to fire him.
They're making a point.
That's what he's saying.
They're being
fire him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're not going to fire him. They've told him they're not going to fire him, and they're not going to let him go.
Nope.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have to get my daughter to acting lessons.
She's an award-winning actress.
Yes.
Okay.
And wait till her acting coach gets to hear all of this. But I want you to come back next week. We got Baron Black on the show next week.
Sweet.
Yeah, and he'll be
Terminus.
coming on to talk Terminus 2. So check us out next week. And we'll be back here, noon Eastern, 9 a.m.
Baron Black,
Pacific.
not cheeseburger, you racist. 9 a.m. Pacific next week. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
That's right. I am Will Washington. He's Righteous Reg. He is Philip Lindsey. We will see you next time. Have a great afternoon. Peace.